virtual mode, our vigor and hopes to excel in profession remain the same. On this note, to mark the beginning of the event, Udbhavi, Rise of Glory, with an auspicious prayer, I request all the members, whoever are present, to please rise and stand in whichever place they are for the Institute motto song.
य एष सुप्तेषु जागृति य एष सुप्तेषु जागृति कामं 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 कामपुरुषो पुरुषो निर्विमाणः निर्विमाणः तदेव शुभ्रम्
Thank you, members. May I now call upon our beloved chairperson of Visakhapatnam branch of SIRC of ICI, CA Bharti Devi, to walk us through the conference, welcome our guests, and tell us how useful this conference is for all of us.
Secretary of the branch, CAG Vasudeva Murthy, my colleagues in the managing committee, beloved Center Council member, CAG Prasanna Kumar, Honorable President, CA Gupta Atul Kumar, esteemed Chairman, SIRC of ICI, CA Duga Chand Ujay, the regional council members, the past chairmen of the branch, chairman and secretaries, and other managing committee members from various branches of the Andhra Pradesh, senior members, my dear professional colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to one and all. I welcome you all to this 3-day sub-regional conference, Udbhavi, organized by Southern India Regional Council of ICI and hosted by Visakhapatnam branch of SIRC of ICI. Visakhapatnam branch take it as a great privilege to host sub-regional conference, and in view of ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, this conference is being held via virtual mode. We are highly grateful to SIRC for giving the opportunity to our branch. Sub-regional conference is a 3-day knowledge carnival where we exchange our ideas with renowned speakers and take forward step with much more vigorous in discharging our professional responsibilities. The theme of the conference, Udbhavi, denotes rising with glory. Our profession is a very glorious profession wherein we, the professionals, continuously strive to upkeep our knowledge and see that the image of our profession always kept high. Now the challenge is not only to update, also to evolve to foster into newer avenues. We have to constantly pursue the new avenues and keep updating the existing professional areas. We have great responsibility to meet the expectations of regulators and the stakeholders. The 3-day mega conference is designed to suit the name of the theme of the conference, Udbhavi. The topics are carefully chosen to include new domains of our profession and also to update on the current development of the profession. In this, we have chosen topics on capital gains arising in the real estate transactions. And the phrase change is constant coupled with innovation is imperative means our profession more sensitive to changing horizon. So we have a special session on innovate or evaporate. The indirect tax legislation has a different take on the matter of interest. So we have taken the controversial issues under GST in section 16.2 subsection C as well as 16.4 and 36.4, as well as the internal audit, which values the organization and effective internal audit mechanism, as well as the accounting standard 15 and 22. I'm sure through this 3-day of learning process on all the ever emerging topics that were structured for deliberation by eminent speakers, we will achieve the excellence in the subjects deliberated, and the world will acknowledge our dedicated efforts in profession as glorious as always. At each stage, we were immensely supported by SARC chairman and their dynamic team, starting from the approval till today for hosting this conference. I express my gratitude to SARC chairman and his team members in the committee for reposing confidence once again to Visakhapatnam branch to host this wonderful conference. We have dynamic regional council members who are always a call far away for any issue of the branch of members which come across us. The entire conference has been structured under the constant guidance of our dynamic Center Council member, CAG Prasanna Kumar. His vision is well reflected in the form of conference arrangements. He is a person who always involves in both macro and micro activities. Welcome you, sir. The pillars of the conference are delegates. I once again welcome all the participants to this 3-day sub-regional conference. The registration has its magnitude only because of the stalwart speakers who have readily agreed to our request and gave consent. I welcome all the speakers for this 3-day sub-regional conference. I express my sincere gratitude to all the members for bringing a great conference into reality. Thank you.
Thank you for your welcome address, madam. It's my pleasure to now introduce our SIRC Chairman, CA Dungar Chandu Jain, before he addresses the audience. CA Dungar Chandu Jain, a fellow member of the Institute and practicing chartered accountant for the past 15 years. He's been a very proactive member of the Institute who has been serving the Regional Council for the last 2 terms. He has been the chairman of the committees of SIRC of ICI of continuing professional education. Committees were member in industry, information technology, and digital transformation committee, and currently serving as the chairman of SIRC of ICI. A school topper who has been very bright since the school days and college days. He has been a member of the Bombay Chartered Accountants Society, All India Federation of Tax Practitioners, a visiting faculty at Madurai who has presented various papers on information technology. Being tech savvy, he has been instrumental in preparing a few in-house softwares. He has been a regular contributor to our monthly newsletter of Chartered Accountant Study Circle, and he has authored a book on Excel tips covering uses of MS Excel for professionals. With all his proactive approach and dedication, he has been serving all the members at the helm of affairs. May I now welcome CA Dungar Chandu Jain to please address the audience.
So before you move to the address, I request our chairman SIRC to accept a small virtual felicitation.
Okay. Thank you for the lovely felicitation. Esteemed and enterprising C. Atul Kumar Gupta ji, President of ICI in absentia, our beloved Central Council member, J.D. Prasanna Kumar, distinguished and highly acclaimed resource persons of this 3-day event, CA Dr. Abhishek Murli, Secretary of SARC, CAG Bharati Devi, Chairperson of Vizag branch, along with our team members, the managing committee members of Vizag branch, and all the chairmen of the Andhra Pradesh branches, and my dear colleagues in the professional fraternity, a very good afternoon to all of you. It is heartening to note that Vizag branch has grabbed the opportunity of conducting the sub-regional conference yet again. I still will not forget the year 2017 when I visited Vizag as Secretary of SARC when the sub-regional conference was held, and we had an excellent time and excellent speakers lined up on that day. And today it is further pertinent to note that they have involved all the branches of Andhra Pradesh in conducting this sub-regional conference. And the delight is more when our Atulji was supposed to join. I think he might be joining at any point of time, under whose leadership and acumen our institute is growing from strength to strength, and he's been kind of supporting and guidance in all organs of ICI for effective functioning. And I would like to tell that the sub-regional conference in Karnataka and Puducherry just got over, and today we have one by AP, and the Telangana is just following. So all the states will be covering it just before the regional conference, whereas Kerala will be doing it after the regional conference. And it is gratifying to see the response that is being evoked by our members for the sub-regional conferences, which are very, very phenomenal. And the SARC at this juncture sincerely thanks everybody for supporting the initiatives of SARC. And with this prelude, let me congratulate the members at the hem of the affairs of Vizag and other branches in the state of Andhra Pradesh for showing their zest in associating with SARC in conducting this conference, which, unlike in the normal practice, a 2-day affair event is made a 3-day event. A respected Central Council member, CAD Prasanna Kumar, under whose guidance and contribution this conference is being held, is always known for innovative thinking. Probably there is one session also on that. The speaker can take a cue from the Central Council member actually. And he always introduces new concepts in any program that is associated with. And this today's 3-day conference is a testimony of his leadership skill and planning. I acknowledge his contribution not only for the conference, but for his swift actions whenever we at SARC kind of refer any matter to him relating to ICI. We are fortunate to have him as our executive committee member in SARC of ICI. And probably if I were to speak about C. Prasanna Kumar, I think there should be a separate session on all his contribution, what he is continuing to do for ICAI. And today, the expectation from chartered accountants, from the regulators, the corporates, and the society at large has been widening, requiring new vista of professional services. And over a period of time, the spectrum of services provided by the chartered accountants has extended beyond the conventional accounting and auditing jobs. So we have to specialize in multiple diverse areas of our profession in order to satisfy the ever-increasing expectations of our clients, stakeholders, especially the corporate sector and the government institutions in India. The conduct of programs, in whatever name it is called, organized by ICI and its wings, thus serves the interest of the members in educating, updating, and enhancing the knowledge level to meet the expectations. The CP programs that our members are attending greatly help in our being well organized as global accountants, and we improve our competence and skill to offer the best of the services to our clientele. The topics chosen for deliberations at the conference are of current relevance and importance in the dynamic environmental professional services, and which I'm very sure will provide the new learning methodologies. And as the chairperson rightly mentioned, the feast of knowledge which is lined up for the 2 days on taxation, corporate law, internal audit, accounting standards, and other related areas, with the scholarly speakers who are going to enlighten and enthrall the delegates. And I'm only reminded of a nice quote in this COVID time, that in decades nothing happened, and in weeks decade happened. Probably you will see the way chartered accountants kind of got equipped in this short span of time is phenomenal. And the extent use of technology which we have seen would not have happened for next 2 3 years, which happened in a span of 2 to 3 months. The example, best example to that and the testimony is our bank audit. We were able to conduct that remotely, which otherwise would have been very difficult, where we were giving X or Y reasons. But this bank audit, we were able to see that we are able to complete it with half day, 1 day, or 2 day visit to the branch, and we were able to satisfy it, do the audit satisfactorily without compromising on the quality. And on the institute fronts, I would like to tell that there has been this WeCare initiative, where senior members are of more than 75 years are going to be seen that they are properly taken care, or if they are facing any challenges, institute has come up to see that they are given proper guidance, be it financially, emotionally, or in all terms, for which the institute has geared up what do you say, the region council as well as the branches, to see that the purpose is achieved. And secondly, at SARC, the coaching classes have been kind of been a big hit, and we are able to cater to the needs of students of various uh, uh, other branches other than Chennai this time. And we were able to come up with a grievance week called as Address to Redress. Though SSP is a big hit and many people have been, many members and students have got benefited to it, we saw that there were small issues now and then which people were not able to kind of take it forward. So we decided at SARC to have a weekly grievance week, where we could spend 1 hour for the members and students to see that the logical end which is required is kind of achieved. And about the CA exams, rather than me speaking, I'll request CA Prasanna sir to update us, which is kind of on track and happening. Probably on day after tomorrow, the exams will happen. ICA is fully geared up to see that it is kind of happening. And any difficulty the student is facing, we have kind of seen to it that is being taken care. And there is, what do you say, the best of the line of facilities are being happening for the students for the conduct of the CA exams. And the last and the most important one, I take this opportunity to invite all of you to the 52nd regional conference of SARC of ICA, which for the first time is happening in the virtual mode. And I expect members in large numbers to participate for this historic event of SARC of ICI. And I assure you, all of you, that it matches the magnificence of the regular SARC conferences held in the past. Whatever physical feel what you would get, we will try to replicate it, and we will offer enlightening experience and extensive knowledge addition to provide a feast of knowledge, if not the feast of delicious food at Madurai, which otherwise would have been glad to entertain with our hospitality had the conference been happening physically at Madurai. I await for another occasion to extend our hospitality to all our members in the very New Year feature program, and we will join together then. And let me tell you, friends, this is going to be a 4-day program, because we didn't want to burden the members with 6 hours a day, which virtually is not possible. So we made it 3 hours into 4 days. The registration of the conference has already been started with an offer for early bird registration up to 25th November 2020. I request members to register at the earliest, as we have as of now a cap on the number of registrations. I would also appeal to our members to support SARC for augmenting its financial resources for conducting this program through enlisting for sponsorship, the details of which have been published in the SARC newsletter. So let us all join together to take our ICA to greater heights and achieve more laurels and glory in the days ahead. I wish the AP State Level Sub-Regional Conference a resounding and phenomenal success to etch in our thought always, and wish you all a very, very happy learning. Thank you all. Wish you all a great time.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your Thank you for your constant support, sir. You rightly pointed out that the need for the hour is to constantly update to the changes in our profession and to stay relevant in our services. It's only actions that define us. Your advice to stay tenacious, even during tough times, and for updating us on the latest happenings of SIRC. Thank you so much. And I'm sure all of our attendees today will register for the regional conference upcoming next. May I now request our Central Council member, CAD Prasanna Kumar, to please take over the proceedings.
Yeah, Chairman, we are just waiting for the President to join. Chairman, Bharti, I'm audible? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're audible.
Yes, Bharti, she's not there somewhere. I think she's not able to hear me.
Sir, tell sir.
Yeah, Bharti, we're waiting for the President to come and join.
Yes, sir.
So in the meanwhile, can we request Abhishek to speak few words? But when he joins, he will stop, and again, Abhishek can speak anytime. Bits and pieces also he can speak. He's capable. I think you can make use of this time. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Before the President joins.
Prasanna sir is fully capable in bits and pieces.
No, anything. Attested 5 hours also no problem for him. In bits and pieces, every 15 minutes also not a problem. He's very capable. So let us make use of the time. The moment the President joins, I'll take over that. Yeah, please.
Sure. Shall I start then, Prasanna sir? Chairman, Chairperson? Yes. Very warm good afternoon to all the participants who have joined in today. It gives me great pleasure to be here at this wonderful sub-regional conference to be addressing all the members and participants who have joined here today. I firstly salute the President of ICI, C. Atul Gupta ji, the Chairman of SIRC, C. Dungachand Jain, our beloved Central Council member, the very dynamic C. Prasanna Kumar, who hails from Vizag himself, and of course, the chairperson of the branch, the management committee members of the branch, who have all done a phenomenal job of organizing this 3-day program. You see, I always have a saying, when you're grassrooted, you cannot be uprooted. I think that's very relevant to the topics that have been selected over the next 3 days, because having mastery over the subject today is of prime importance. Today, the world is such, it is extremely fast. The clients, they want to see results only. And especially in this COVID period, as rightly highlighted by our chairman, things have moved very, very quickly. And some people, they are in a financial difficulty. So they are looking at having quick guidance, quick results. And therefore, this demanding nature will fall onto us as chartered accountants or advisors, auditors, or whatever sort of work we are doing for the clients. So I jocularly say, efforts are important, but results are more important. Reminds me of a story of an auto driver and a priest. You see, this auto driver and a priest, both of them die and they go to heaven, and they are waiting outside the gates and they're waiting for God. First, the priest comes to God. God tells him, "Sir, you have been preaching my name for the last 40 years. Every day you have been telling prayers about me. So therefore, I am giving you..." Yes, sir. President has joined.
Yeah, President.
Yes. I now I request Prasanna sir to take over the proceedings. Over to you, Prasanna sir.
Yeah. The President sir.
Yes, sir has joined, Prasanna sir.
Yeah. Well, I think the video need to be.
Yeah, he's visible also, Prasanna sir.
Yeah. Okay, I could not see from the screen, what is there display. Yeah. Honorable President of ICI, C. Atul Kumar Gupta ji, as the chief guest for today's sub-regional conference, CA Bharti Devi, the chairman of Visakhapatnam branch of SIRC of ICI, CA DC Jain, chairman SIRC of ICI, C. Abhishek Murali, the secretary of SIRC of ICI, C. Vasudeva Murthy, secretary of Visakhapatnam branch, my dear members, friends, and participants in the event. So good evening to all of you. It is a great pleasure to welcome our beloved and honorable President C. Atul Kumar Gupta ji to Visakhapatnam virtually. I can always say ICA is fortunate. ICA is fortunate to have such a great president in Atul Kumar Gupta ji for the year 2021. In fact, we planned for the visit of Atul ji. It should have happened in the month of June 2020. The moment he has taken over the president, we made a request to him. Sir, we wanted to visit Visakhapatnam into June 2020 to inaugurate an All India conference. That's how we have planned that time. He said, okay. Immediately said, okay. The managing committee has planned a full day of activity, pack of activities. The moment he lands in Visakhapatnam up till he leaves, the activity for members, activity for students, and a career council program, and a presentation, a meeting with the state government authorities. Like that, we planned a great program. But COVID-19 pandemic has changed the situation, and things also got delayed. Today, we welcome him for a virtual meeting virtually. Friends, however, I still feel, see, a human being is always, aspirates. So our aspiration is still 3 more months are left. I'm sure God will give us an opportunity to physically invite Atul Gupta ji to Visakhapatnam. We'll have one more program in Visakhapatnam in physically as per state government guidelines. This is the one, which is in our mind. I think the God will permit us to have it happen. Friends, as you know, Atul Kumar Gupta is a great visionary, and his vision doesn't stop the moment a vision document is made. It doesn't stop the moment a vision document has been presented. It keeps on dynamically changing. We keep, for the various committees that we are heading, where we are involved with, we think that he has already given a vision. We are doing a great job. You go and meet him after 1 week, he'll come with a good new idea. And he'll follow up what is happening. Before we know what we achieved, before we know what we have not done, it is the knowledge of Atul Kumar Gupta, what is happening everywhere. That is the knowledge that he has got. That's where we have learned a lot of things. In fact, the moment he took over as a president of ICA, he set the vision for 2020-21. And he has set more than 100 items to be taken during the year. Given the pandemic situation, we were all wondering in the month of March until how things are going to happen. I'm happy to announce, my dear members, by now itself, still 3 more months are there. He has almost achieved all the targets he has set for the vision document, what he has cleared, what is presented on February 12, 2020. That is the speed at which he works. Friends, see, he has taken ICA to greater heights. We feel greater heights. By means of greater heights, we feel that in India, not only India, globally he has taken to very greater heights. Looking at the visionary in Atul Kumar Gupta ji, I'm happy to announce, I'm very, very happy to announce with just my heart that he has been elevated as the board member of International Federation of Accountants for 6 years representing India. This is a great thing. Let us all join together to congratulate our Honorable President for getting such a great post, so that the India can contribute for another next 6 years internationally. His board membership is so relevant today, while at a time we are poised to have our World Congress 2022 in India. I'm sure that is going to be a historic event in India while he is the IFAC board member. See, though in the COVID-19 challenges, whatever challenge the pandemic has begun, I always feel who should have been a better president than Atul Kumar Gupta ji. And I am sure he's the only person who has taken to greater heights in spite of whatever the challenge we had. He has taken, because he could take all these things, he's the only person who knows 360-degree view of the entire function of ICA. I still doubt, my dear members, even any bureaucrat in the institute, right from secretary to somebody else who knows about the function of the institute, but Atul Kumar Gupta ji knows. That is the reason behind which that he could take even the pandemic situation, he could steer our ICA to greater heights. I have learned a lot of things while as the vice president. Almost every day I used to meet him. 4 days in a week I used to be in Delhi. Every day I meet him, and I have learned a lot of things. This year, COVID pandemic, only we are meeting virtually or telephone or talking. But still his guidance has been very immense for me. And I am personally gratitude is in the 2nd year of my tenure, he has nominated me using a distinction for nominated for all the standing committees and made me the presiding officer of Board of Discipline and given me so many responsibilities to carry out. I thank him personally. I still say, my dear members, this is not to be, it is given to Prasanna Kumar. It is a gift given by Honorable President to Visakhapatnam and Andhra Pradesh members, our southern members, by recognizing me to give me an opportunity to do all those things. As a vice president, if you have to say, he's the only vice president, he probably, as for my knowledge goal, who worked for 365 days as vice president, 15 hours a day. As a president, he is working every day. The entire 365 days is going to work 18 hours a day. Who else can be a great president? That's why I started my presentation telling that IC has been fortunate to have such a great president. With these few words, my dear friends, I present to you my beloved, my younger brother. I call him always my younger brother because he calls me younger brother. My younger brother, by age, he is my younger brother. By his knowledge, I don't know, he's my godfather. Yes, I learned so many things from me. I give him a warm welcome. I present the great visionary personality for the participants in Visakhapatnam for the sub-regional conference. Welcome you, sir. Welcome you for this meeting, sir.
Should I?
Sir, before you go ahead, I request Honorable President to accept a small virtual felicitation.
Madam, little bit quick because, yeah.
Yeah, I know. We are sorry, it's hard place for time. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So, though, thank you very much for this felicitation. Though these days the students are making the different pictures of mine. Like somebody is giving me the bullet or something like that, and then showing that I'm shooting them. Anyway, it's a part of life only. At times you have the day like a shadow, and at times you have the bright sunshine. So it is a part of everybody's life. Thank you very much to my elder brother and very respected, dedicated and very workaholic Hindi medium CA Prasanna Kumar ji, the Honorable Central Council member from the southern region, the bright star of the southern part of the country. And very respected the chairman of the regional council, CA DC Jain Saab, who can write from both the hands together, and ulta or seedha dono likh sakte, who can write, and all my respected chairperson of chairman and all my chairperson of the Visakhapatnam branch chairman and all colleagues, everybody, management committee members. The distinguished speaker, I can see Rohit ji from Amritsar, who is there to participate in your deliberation, apart from the other distinguished speakers. I'm aware that I'm in between the honorable speaker and you, so I will not take much of your time, but I will say only a few words to all of you. That when we talk about the profession, as mentioned by Honorable Prasanna Kumar ji, that one has to have the 360-degree view of the profession. And if we have the 360-degree view, the first and the important view, which should be there, and I believe that it is a 50% weightage I used to give to the profession, is about the regulatory aspect of the profession. The Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, way back, established to regulate the profession of chartered accountancy. And it is our first duty to see that the trust of the profession is going to the next level. And whatever we can do to build up that trust, we should do. So that's why the ICI develop an ecosystem ranging from the quality review board to the tender tax audit quality review board, the tender monitoring group, the peer review board, FRRB, and finally, if somebody is not satisfied with that, then the disciplinary mechanism. So you will agree with me that whenever these 5 areas, there are some problems, whether there is a problem in the review conducted by the peer review board, FRRB, the QRB, or the other bodies, ultimately the case is going to the disciplinary mechanism. And it was our commitment in the last year that rather than a waiting list of 8 years, every case should have a disposal within 1 year. And I'm telling you that with the efforts put in by all the council colleagues and the government nominees, we have came down to the situation of 3-year waiting, which we are aspiring to see that by December 2021, the waiting will not be more than a year. So that will give a strong deterrent to the members who are actually not even a 1% of the profession, but they are giving the bad name to the profession. So it is our duty to see that the profession of this repute, the elegant profession, the profession of that elegance should have the glory for which we are being established. So that is something very, very important, and on which we are working. And thankfully, the Honorable Prasanna Kumarji is also working day and night to while chairing a particular bench of the disciplinary activity. Now coming to the second aspect, which is again a very, very important, is about the wow experience to the members and students. I'm aware that in the COVID pandemic, there are the challenges at across the globe level, but the ICI never allowed to die the spirit, and ultimately, whether it is a digital learning hub, offering the live virtual classes to the members along with the structured CPRs, maybe the SSP portal, maybe the various other activities, including the 100% digital evaluation of the answer sheets and giving the results in the, because unfortunately we are not able to, right now we are struggling with the examination to conduct it, but ultimately the re-verification result will come in 7 days. All these initiatives are there, may it be the VKR, may it be the CABF portal, all are there, which are part of our vision paper, that to provide the wow experience to the members when they are interacting with the second largest body of the world. Yes, there are the challenges here and there, but we are trying to see that how we can mitigate those challenges and provide that kind of experience to our member. The third aspect, which is again very important for the profession, because we are known not only the catalyst of a socio-economic reforms, but also we are the catalyst of the growth trajectory, because I used to say the chartered accountants are the part of the financial army of the country, because not only they lay down, they benchmark the international standards for disclosure, which protect the common interest and interest of the common man, but also provides the ecosystem, the framework where the companies are getting listed at the global stock exchanges. So it is very important that our profession should be available in each and every corner of the country as well as the global level. I'm happy to intimate you that with the beginning of the office in Leh, and very soon in all these sister states, 7 sister states of the Northeast, Andaman, and also in the Srinagar, the ICI will be available in each and every state and the union territory of the country. Now, when we are talking about the global level, I'm happy to intimate you that today the ICI official presence is available in the 42 countries of the world, with the 37 chapter and the 16 representative office, and which are duly recognized by the Ministry of External Affairs. So that kind of a mutual recognition agreement, the MOUs, the presence in the 42 countries with the 175 plus location in the country, which actually makes this profession a really global profession. I can speak on the NARIC, I can speak on the various mutual recognition agreement and the other facilities, but the time is not there to speak on all these aspects. The fourth one, which is again a very, very important, that to see that our profession is entering into the new age, because our profession evolves around the economy. And when we are talking about the profession of the chartered accountants, there are the number of challenges which actually comes along with the evolution of the economies around the world. I'm just mentioning you that when you will see that when you qualify the examination, we were complying with the law which were having the local jurisdiction, even the state jurisdiction, say for example, the VAT. But now today we are complying with the law which are having the global jurisdiction. That may it be the GST, may it be the IFRS, may it be the insurance, insolvency, risk management, valuation, and so on. Likewise, the businessman is also looking towards the wealth maximization by having the optimization, the cost optimization, and the innovative way of doing the work to improve the efficiency. Now, when they are migrated from the IPOs to the strategic funding, when the balance sheets were in the ultimate earlier, the 99% was the tangible assets, and now today you can see the 90% even the intangibles in terms of the valuation. It is very important for our profession to upgrade our skills to match the society requirement. And the last but not the least is a digital disruption. When we talk about the digital disruption, and our routine jobs will be taken over by the system itself, they will be outsourced to the system itself in the next few years. It is very important for all of us to concentrate the jobs which are required the more skepticism and the more the wisdom of the chartered accountant, rather than they are the routine in nature. So now when I'm talking about all these aspects, and coupled with the huge scope which is available in the sustainability reporting, the huge scope which is available in the accrual accounting and the municipal bonds and all these things, I believe that the profession has to understand one very, very important aspect, that you have to be ready with the new age jobs.
You have to be the new age professional. You have to be the next generation professional. And for that, we have to, all of us has to reskill our skills to match the requirement of the society so that we can remain relevant in the value chain. So my request to all my colleagues here from this program, and I believe that with this program, there will be a lot of learnings and the new learnings for all our members. And it will be, I believe that a lot of takeaways will be there from the discussion. Then when we will strive to become a new age professional, and we strive to ready for the new age requirements as well. So my best wishes to all of you and Prasanna ji for giving this opportunity, and my best wishes to all the audience, as well as my thanks to each one of you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sir, Prasanna sir, it is like IPL. You have a clapping system available. So whenever somebody is speaking, you are just putting the clapping system on. And it is giving a clapping like IPL. We are looking that the match is happening. Actually, the match is happening in the Dubai without any audience. But
Sir, everything virtual, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Chairman, sir.
Thank you, sir. Your vision for all of us to remain latest and updated the same time by remaining true to the values the Institute bestowed to us. Thank you very much, sir, for your valuable message to the members of Visakhapatnam branch and all the branches of Andhra Pradesh. Thank you once again. I request our secretary, Vasudev
so much,
Murthy Garu, to propose vote of thanks for the inaugural session. So Vasudev Murthy Garu, request you yourself to unmute and then speak.
If he is not going to connect, you propose vote of thanks. If he has got some technical problem.
Honorable President,
Fine. Yeah.
see Atul Kumar ji, Atul Kumar Gupta ji, respected Central Council member Prasanna Kumar ji, and beloved Regional Council Chairman, see Dungar Chand Jain, and Regional Council Secretary Sri Abhishek Murali ji, and other today's resource person and Rohit Kapoor ji, and other regional council members, members from other branches, members from industry and profession, and a good evening to all of you, sir. On behalf of the Visakhapatnam Managing Committee and members of the Visakhapatnam branch, I express profound thanks to our Atul Kumar ji from the bottom of my heart for gracing the occasion and inaugurating the AP State Sub-Regional Conference of SIRC Udbhavi spread over for a 3 days virtual conference. We hope everybody is doing good, staying safe in COVID environment. Sir, as a member, you are very dear to each one of us present here. It is very joy to have you here once again physically, sir, with the crown as distinguished president of our alma mater, our mother institutions. So we are honored by your gracious presence today, sir. In spite of your busy schedule, you have provided some time to us, sir. Really, we are enlightened by your words. You have shared concerning the recent developments in the profession. The issues you have elaborated and explained will help us understand the profession and the way forward, sir. I also thank our regional chairman, C.A. Dugarchand Jain, and guest of honor. I also extend my wholehearted thanks to our C.A. Prasanna Kumar ji, who is guiding factor for this regional conference and pinned pillar to post. Really, I thank all the members of the other branches. I also thank each one of you by adding and color to this event. Thank you, one and all.
Was extinguishment. Extinguishment means where the asset is not in existence. For example, in case of fire, there is no asset now, but I have extinguishment right. In this case, there is a single party, but still this SC will be liable to capital gains. Third was compulsory acquisition under any law. In first two cases, in the first case, there was mutual consent. Both the parties has given mutual consent. But in the compulsory acquisition of is capital asset converted into stock in trade, maturity of capital bonds. Very important issue. Clause 247, clause 5. Possession. I am just highlighting the word possession. In the nature of immovable property, the word here is not used as land or building. Possession in the nature of immovable property. It makes a difference if the word here was mentioned land and building. To be taken or retained in part performance of contract as referred in section 53. I will like to make a full deliberation on this issue, but in my next slide, I will deal this issue. Last, enjoyment. If in case of enjoyment of immovable property, clause 247, clause 6 will apply. Now, in this case, the immovable property, I have only mentioned immovable property, and if I go to my previous slide, immovable property is only in 247.5. Therefore, the explanation which has been given is only for 247.5 and 6. It says that if land includes machinery, furniture, for example, if there is agriculture land and there is a tubewell on it, it will be taken as immovable property, and the calculation of capital gains will be taken from the immovable property. The tubewell shall not be segregated separately. The clause 2 also says about if a person becomes a member in the cooperative society, it deals with that clause. This was the basic concept. Now I am coming to the what will be the charging. 45 says the transaction will be chargeable to tax in the year in which transfer take place. But there are exceptions to this. These are exception 1. Profit and gains arising from transfer of capital asset. First exception is 45.1, 45.1a, 45.2, and all these moving around. There are so many exceptions. If I say that as per section 45.1, the capital gain shall be deemed to be taxable in the year in which transfer take place. But 45.1a, 45.2, 45.2a, 45.3, these are exceptions which says that capital gain will not be taxable in the year of transfer. It will be taxable in some another year. We will see the sections. But now I am just highlighting the issues which are important to be noted here. You all are aware that in section 242a, there was benefit for land and building, that the period of land and building has been reduced from 36 months to 24 months. My dear friends, please note that the word here is land and building. Therefore, if I am having rights in land, for example, I am having tenancy rights, the period for that will be 36 months, not 24 months, because the word here used is immovable property being land or building. So it is important because this word will change my whether the capital gain is a long term or short term. So please note that 242a, the change which has been made, 36 months has been reduced to 24 months. The word is land and building, and the word here referred is immovable property being land and building. If the word has been referred only immovable property, then it was a wider. But they have restricted being land and building or both. It makes some sense, and there is reason. I will just share my view. What is the reason? Now, there is another change. Mode of computation, you all are aware that the mode of computation is governed by section 48. Full value of consideration, we are aware. Expenditure less kar dein, less index cost of acquisition. Now index cost of improvement. This index cost of acquisition, it should be here rather. we all are aware that the Finance Act 20 has made an amendment. Why this amendment was made, why there was a need of making the amendment, there is a reason behind that. Earlier, if the capital gains which were transferred up to 31st March, capital assets which were transferred up to 31st March 2020, we were used to take the cost or fair market value at the option of the assessee, provided the asset has been purchased before 1/4/2001. But if the asset has been transferred after 1/4/2020, there is a change in the section. It says cost or fair market value, whichever is higher, but fair market value cannot exceed SDV. So what was the benefit? What was the need of this doing the change? There was a need. Earlier, there was a litigation on this part. What this SE wants, if I want to tax my capital gain, but what I like to take, I will like to increase my cost of acquisition. And by increasing my cost of acquisition, I was given an option. And what we do, option is exercised by taking the certificate from the registered valuer. And what we want to take it, we will like to take that the value should be taken at a higher price. But this option has been converted into compulsory that fair market value cannot exceed stamp duty value as on 1/4/2001. Now, how this change affects us? In the next slide, I just want to make it. So there are many things that for calculation of cost price, there are various methods. One is the value to be taken of the related transactions. Second is stamp duty valuation. Third is value as per registered value. And in many of the cases, I suggest my registered value to make the calculation of cost by reverse calculation method. What is reverse calculation method? I say that if the stamp duty value today is, suppose it is 50 lakhs. I say reverse the cost of indexation. And if I reverse the cost of indexation, what will be the capital gain? The capital gain will be nil. Mind my words. Registered value, we were used to take this benefit by reverse calculation method, and this reverse calculation method has been approved in many case laws, and one of the case law I have discussed here also. So by this amendment, the reverse calculation, the fair market value benefit which we used to take earlier, but the assets which were sold before 31st March 2020, we will still like to take option, but the assets which will be sold after 1/4/2020, we can't take fair market value exceeding stamp duty value. This is the change. Now, this rent capitalization method is a capitalization method which is as per Schedule 3 of Wealth Tax Act. This is also which we used to follow. Now, the question here arises that this section is saying that the fair market value cannot exceed the stamp duty value. Now, how to calculate the fair market value? Is there any section for calculating fair market value? Yes, there is a section 2, subsection 22B, which says that in relation to calculation of the capital asset, the price ordinary fetch or sale in the open market. This is in the main section 2, but mind my words, in chapter capital gains chapter, there is also a section 55A with a view to asserting the fair market value of capital asset for the purpose of this chapter, meaning thereby that fair market value is blanket for all the heads, for house property, for business and profession, but 55A is only for the capital gains. He wants to say that they can refer to the valuation officer. 55A. Now the question come in mind. In one of my case, what the AO did, AO make the reference under section 142 capital A instead of section 55 capital A. Whether the AO has done correct or not. The question was before tribunal. Tribunal categorically stated that the reference must be made as per section 55 capital A and cannot be made under section 142A, because 142A is only restricted to the matters mentioned in section 69A, A, B. But there is amendment in section. If we see today's section 142A, there is no such word 69, 69A or 69B. But if we go why this change was made, if there is no mention of section, can AO take the benefit of section 142A instead of referring the case under section 55A? Answer is no. This is the latest judgment which says that the AO has to compulsory make the reference under section 55 capital A and cannot opt for section 142 capital A. Now, I'm coming to, this is the main section 45(2), which where from where the exception starts. Rather, exception starts from section 45(1) capital A. I am not dealing with that section. This is the main section. 45(1) says that it shall be taxable in the year in which transfer take place. I told you that all these sections are exceptions. So if these are exceptions, then if these are the exceptions, so it obviously it will be start with notwithstanding clause, notwithstanding anything contained in section 45(1). The profit and gains from transfer by way of conversion, and transfer by way of conversion, if I go to 247, 247 clause 4 says conversion of capital asset into stock in trade where there are no two parties same, still it will be treated as transfer. This is 247(5). And by the owner of a capital asset or its treatment. The two words are important. One is by way of conversion or treatment. Treatment, when we convert the capital asset into stock in trade, in balance sheet, we only treat, we only give the treatment. We take the asset from the definition of capital asset, we transfer it to the trading account, it is treatment. Now, what will be the fair market value? The word is fair market value as on date of such conversion, we all are aware. Shall be deemed to be full value of consideration. 45(1) also word used, shall be deemed to be taxable in the year in which transfer take place. But the full value of consideration used in section 45(1) has been substituted by the deemed to full value of consideration. Now, what is the points which are to be taken care here? There are very important points which we will discuss now. For example, Mr. A, has 10 flats. The total cost of flats were 20 lakhs. 10 flats, 20 lakhs is the cost. These are the capital asset. He converted the asset on 15th March 2017. Fair market value was 50 lakhs. Sold it for rupees 80 lakhs. Now the question here arises, what will be the business income and what will be the capital gain income? It's so easy. Everywhere is a bear. This minus this is my capital gain income. This minus this is my business income. Then why we are reading this section? There are legal points which I want to point in this webinar. Very important points. Let us see. First of all, 80 lakhs minus 50 lakhs, 30 lakhs is my business income. There is no dispute regarding this. Now, please hold on. I have a question for you. You are saying 50 lakhs minus index cost of acquisition. This is the capital gain. I want to invest in 54 EC bonds. And what 54 EC says? From the 6 months from the end of the month in which transfer took place, my dear friends, transfer was in the financial year 16-17, but taxability is in the financial year 19-20. Now the problem comes how the person can make investment in 54 EC bonds. There was a circular 791, which says that for the calculation of 45(2), the investment shall be taken from the date when it is chargeable to tax. When it is chargeable to tax. So dear friends, it is chargeable to tax in financial year 19-20. So I can say 54 EC bonds can be taken with this help of this circular that in financial year 19-20, that is 11-12-2019, that is 31st December plus 6 months, I can say up to 30th June 2020, he has to make investment. So this was the circular which has clarified. Now there is a litigation also regarding another point. There was a case in the tribunal and later on it went to the High Court, Karnataka High Court, which says that what we say here is that year of transfer divided by year of acquisition. It says year of transfer should be replaced by year when it is chargeable to tax because of this circular. If you are taking the tax in the year 19-20, why I should not be given the benefit of indexation till financial year 19-20? I have just referred Karnataka High Court judgment Rudra Industrial Corporation, which says that index cost shall be taken up to the date when it is chargeable to tax. So dear friends, what I have done transfer is not in 16-17. For calculation of indexation, transfer will be with this will be shifted 264 is not to be taken as a base. It will be the year in which it is 19-20. So we can take the benefit of this judgment. Now I am coming, my next question is also very important. I am an agriculturist. I want to convert my land into stock in trade. and my land is 8 kilometers beyond the area, beyond the municipality. This shows that my land is agriculture land. Dear friends, 214 does not cover agriculture land as capital asset. Question before the court was, can the SECI take the benefit of 45(2) conversion of capital asset into stock in trade? Now I am just giving you what the SECI did. Actual cost was 10 lakh. Fair market value on the date of conversion was 15 lakh. The sale price was 25 lakh. Sale price 25 lakh. Cost of action 50. Business income was 10 lakh. And this capital gain he was getting exempt. Court came with the view. How you are invoking 45(2)? 45(2) applies to capital asset. And the original asset is agriculture land. And agriculture land beyond 8 kilometers is not a capital asset. So court restricted the cost of action to 10 lakh. And the PGBP income was, business income was 15 lakh. This is the case which I have referred. Next, conversion of, this was conversion of capital asset into stock in trade. It can be case of vice versa. Vice versa means that the capital asset, the stock in trade is converted into a capital asset. Earlier, there was no section, but Finance Act 2019 has come with Finance Act 2018, has made the amendment with effect from 1st April 2019 that if stock in trade is converted into capital asset, it shall be liable to capital gain. This amendment is hitting such like that without even making sale, business income is liable to taxable. For example, I have a land, I constructed 10 floors on it, and out of this 10 floors, I decided to keep 2 floors for my office. What you have done is, you have converted your stock in trade into capital asset. Now, the interplay of section 28A, clause 6A, which is very much important, word is converted into. If I go to this, what is the now says? The land was purchased for 20 lakhs, construction of 10 flats was made, and the construction cost was 80 lakhs. If I say it is 80 lakhs, then the total cost of construction, including land of 10 flats, is 20 plus 80 is equal to 1 crore. 10 flats is equal to 1 crore, out of which 2 flats were converted into his capital assets. What this is, the fair market value of inventory on date on which it is converted, determined in the prescribed manner, and prescribed manner they have referred to rule. Let us suppose that in the year of conversion, that is, it was converted on 13/5, 2019. That is financial year 1920. If we talk about financial year 1920, that the stamp duty value was 15 lakh. If it is 15 lakh, what will be the case? 30 lakh is the fair market value as per rule 11 UAB. And total cost, 20 lakh was land, 80 lakh was construction, into 2 divided by 10 is 20 lakhs. 10 lakh is chargeable to tax. Dear friends, I haven't sold anything. See the irony. I haven't sold, then also I am liable to tax under the head business and profession. In this case, the SECI hasn't sold anything, but he has just converted into capital asset. The question arises, will be he liable to take depreciation? Of course, he will be liable to take depreciation, but depreciation is only liable on building, not on the land. So we have to take care. Now, the next question was, if this flat, 2 flats, which he have transferred, which we have converted into capital assets, are later on sold, what will be the cost for the other 2 assets, for the assets sold? Cost of acquisition in respect of stock in trade converted into capital asset. So what we can see is, here the fair market value was 30 lakhs. So we can frame the law as per section 49(9), where the capital gain arises from transfer of capital assets referred under section 28(6)(a). The cost of such asset shall be deemed to be the fair market value, meaning thereby this is preponement of taxes. 10 lakh per tax they have taken here, and after, if you sold for 50 lakhs minus 30 lakhs will be 20 lakhs will be your capital gain. Sir, my question is, what it will be, a long term or short term? Sir, if we go to 242A, it has, when if the asset is held by the SECI for a period of 2 years, and in case of land and building, I can say if it is more than 2 years, then it will be a long term. If it is less than 2 years, it will be a short term. Now, this is not ended here. I am again coming to this. I have 10 flats. 2 flats were converted into capital assets. How many flats are left now? Dear friends, 8 flats are left. Now, in the financial year 2021, this SE sold 5 flats. If he has sold 5 flats out of 8 flats, how many flats are still left? 3 flats. There is another judgment which I want to discuss with you. Ansal Housing Construction Limited. This is the case where the vacant flats in the hands of developer were liable to house property income under section 23, meaning thereby the AO has invoked section 22 and 23 that these were vacant plants and why not the house property notional rent should be charged. High Court decided this case in the favor of the revenue. Coupled with the fact there is a section 23(5) where property consisting of land or building, the land is held as stock in trade and the property or any other part is not let out during the previous year, the annual value up to 2 years. But this is saying, we have seen that the annual value in case some of the self-occupied house property is nil. Section 23(5) says up to 2 years from the end of financial year in which completion certificate is issued, I will give you the benefit. I will take the annual value as nil. 2 years from the end of financial year in which completion certificate is obtained. I am coming to my question. Date of conversion was 13th August 2019. And if I say that in my case, if the completion certificate was issued on 30/5/2019, so I can say 2 years from the end of financial year means up to 31st March 2022, the value will be nil. After that, it shall also be taxable at notional rent. Next question. Can I claim 24 deduction 30% on it? Yes, you are eligible to 24 deduction of notional rent on 30%. You can claim. Now, next 45(3). We all are aware that 45(3) will also start with notwithstanding. I'm not going to discuss that now. What is the interplay in this? This is very important section. Transfer of capital asset, conversion of capital asset by way of capital contribution. I am a partner. I am holding a land. I contributed to the firm as my capital. It is possible. That firm can use the capital, the asset as a business asset or as a capital asset. Meaning thereby, the partner has transferred a capital asset to a firm in which he is a partner or member by way of capital contribution shall be chargeable to tax as the income of the previous year. This is the section. Now, what is the main, why we are discussing this section? There are some things which have to be taken care while finalizing the return. What is the sale value? Sale value is fair market value shall be deemed to be the amount recorded in the books of accounts. Dear friends, 45(3) is a deeming fiction which says, I will replace the sale value is equal to amount recorded in books of accounts. In my example, Mr. A has purchased the land for ₹5 lakh on 1/4/2002. The stamp duty value was 50 lakhs and he recorded at ₹40 lakhs. Now let us see what is the interplay. First, can 50C be invoked? Can 50C, which is another deeming fiction, can be invoked in section 45(3)? Answer is no. Why? A deeming fiction cannot say applied to another deeming fiction. This is a settled law. Now, I have just taken for the computation of capital gain in the hands of partner Mr. A, sale will be 40 lakh, 50C will not be applicable. 50C apply nahi ho. Index cost of acquisition, we are aware what is the index cost of acquisition. I am not repeating here. Now, please wait there. Can 56(2)(10) be applied in the hands of firm? What 52(6)(10) says, if any amount of consideration is received in cash, in immovable property or in specified assets, specified movable property, they have given the definition. My question is, can 56(2)(10) be made applied in the hands of firms? Dear friends, this is a litigative issue. So I request you, please make valuation, please record the value in the books of the firm at fair market, at the stamp duty value, and not at the amount recorded in the books of account, because 56 to 10 will apply. If 56 to 10 will apply, the partner will be liable to tax on this amount and firm will be liable to tax on 10 lakh. This is 56 to 10 in the hands of firm. So meaning thereby, if I go to my example, the value should be transferred at stamp duty value in order to avoid litigation with the department. Now, what will be the cost of action in the hands of firm? If it is a capital asset, the cost of acquisition is 40 lakhs amount recorded in books of accounts plus 10 lakh as per section 49 subsection 4. So total cost of immovable property in the hands of firm will be 50 lakhs. Now, deeming fiction 45.3 versus 50C. We all are aware that 45.3 is a deeming fiction, 50C is another deeming fiction. One deeming fiction cannot be applied to another deeming fiction. This is the case law of Amarta Private Limited, which is reported in 4 TMI 222. Now, I'm coming to the main issue consideration. Why it has not been applied by the court? There are reasoning. First reasoning is that deeming fiction cannot be override the another fiction unless it is clear-cut mandate of law. Has 50C even starts with this, notwithstanding anything containing? No, there is no section like this. Therefore, and furthermore, 50C starts where the consideration received or accruing as a result of transfer. And whereas 45.3 uses the word, the full value of consideration shall be deemed to be this value of consideration. So meaning thereby 50C cannot be applied. Now, what is the situation if in my case, the capital asset was treated, the asset which was transferred to the firm was treated as a firm in the books of firm as a capital asset. I change my example. If the firm which is taking the asset is a real estate developer, what will be the position in his case? How it will be dealt with? Now you all are aware that 48(2)(b) is there. Assessee alternatively recorded amount much more than what was required. For example, we take the assessee recorded in books at 60 lakhs. He was supposed to record at the books at stamp duty value, and stamp duty was 50 lakhs. What he did, he shifted his, because the partner will be liable to capital gain at 20% and firm will be liable to rate at the tax of 30%. Now, in order to interplay the tax, he intentionally recorded the asset at 60 lakhs. Now, what will be the position in this case? Sir, you can invoke 48(2)(b) in the hands of firm and can restrict the purchases to 50 lakhs. There is a judgment on it. I have referred that judgment. So meaning thereby, we have to consider the stamp duty value for all intent and purposes while recording section 45.3. 45.4. Now, these are the main sections from which we will take the lead. 45, gain on transfer by way of distribution of capital asset on distribution, the word is distribution of capital asset on dissolution or otherwise. There are different interpretations whether the word otherwise should be read with this or it should be read with the word dissolution, because it makes a lot of change. First of all, section says transfer of capital asset. First condition is there must be a transfer of capital asset by way of distribution of capital asset on distribution or dissolution or otherwise. My view is that otherwise is not linked with the with the dissolution. It is linked with the distribution. Therefore, if the assessee retires and any asset is transferred to it, section 45(4) will apply. Now, what is the full value of consideration? Full value of consideration is fair market value of asset on date of transfer. We all are aware. I have just made the issues regarding this, which will be very helpful while interpreting this section. Cash paid to retiring partner. I am saying cash paid to retiring partner. We are only talking about whether the sum paid to retiring partner will be taxable as a capital gain in the hands of firm. I haven't said that what will be the position in the hands of partner. I am only what will be the position in the hands of firm. For example, the firm has paid me in bank account 20 lakh rupees. My capital was 20 lakh rupees. What will be position in the hands of firm? whether firm has transferred any capital asset. Answer is no. The first condition was there must be transfer of capital asset, and the firm has not transferred any capital asset, though so the provisions of 45(4) will not apply. There is a Supreme Court apex case judgment of Raghu Kumar, which is discussed, which has been discussed in the this slide. This is the judgment. So meaning thereby, if a partner has a capital of 10 lakh rupees and 10 lakh is paid by the firm, there is no capital gain in the hands of firm because nothing has been transferred. This we are aware. There is nothing new. But now 1A is related to this only. Now this was on the firm, and now I am on partner. Firm के लिए taxability नहीं होएगी, but we should stop. My capital was 10 lakh rupees. In the firm, partnership firm made me 15 lakh rupees. The question is whether 56(2) clause 10 clause A can be applicable in the hands of the partner. Answer is no. Why? Because if I read the section 56(2)(10A, it says any sum of money without consideration. What I have received excess 5 lakh was not without consideration, it was with consideration. There is a tribunal judgment of Pune bench which I have discussed here. So both parts I have covered. The word otherwise also covers retiring partner also. This is the judgment. I am leaving this topic, not to the issue third. Please be with me. These are very important issues which I will like to discuss each and every issue. Issue number 3, capital asset was distributed to retiring partner. Sir, I have already told you there must be transfer of capital asset by way of distribution or otherwise by way of distribution of capital asset. In this case, capital asset was distributed to retiring partner or otherwise retiring partner is covered, meaning thereby 45(4) will apply in the hands of firm. Will apply? Okay. Now I come to my next example. In my issue number 1, there was a cash. In my issue 3A, capital asset distributed was 15 lakh. Let us say it is a land. Balance of the partner is 10 lakh. Whether 56 clause 2, clause 10, clause B can be applicable. In 56 clause 2, clause 10A was without consideration. But my dear friends, in case of immovable property, it has been said with consideration and without consideration for inadequate consideration subject to the limit of 10% and which has been increased to 20% by a press release which we will discuss later. So meaning thereby, dear friends, in this case 5 lakh will be taxable in the hands of partner under clause 56(2)(10) provided the capital asset which is distributed comes under the definition of immovable property or other assets as defined in section 56. So meaning thereby, we have to take into consideration 56(2)(10) while making any planning. Next issue. Issue 4. There were 4 partners and what they did. If I am partner in a firm, I want to come out of the partnership firm, what I will say, please revalue the land and give my share. What the partner did, there were 4 partners in the firm and the assessee credited the partner the increase in goodwill to the asset side and credited to the 4 partners capital account. On retirement, certain sum was paid to partner. What they did is to partner B to partner. After that, one of partner was retired. Question is 45(4) is applicable. Let's see transfer of capital asset. There is no transfer of capital asset. You are only paying in through bank. No, the goodwill was not taken by the partner. 45(4) cannot be applied. These are the judgments which I have also got. Now, new concept of revaluation. Very important. So be with me. What is concept of revaluation of firm? Now we all are aware what the firms are doing. There is a section 47 clause 13. Because firm are converted into company, particularly when the taxation rate in the case of companies is reduced to 25.17 under new section. Now, what they are planning, the partnership firm revalued the asset and credited the same to the current account of the partner. What the partnership firm did, they credited the revalued amount to the current account. Please, dear friends, be with me. What do you mean by current account? Current account here means that they have transferred to them as a loan. What they have done is a loan. And what does 4713 says? All assets should be transferred and the capital amount should be given. The capital amount in the firm shall be paid, shall be disposed of only by issuing of equity shares. Now, by mentioning the current account, the capital account was not credited. So the intelligently AO said that he applied 47A. I am saying 47A. 47A is when there is default in applying the provisions of section 47. There will be no capital gains in the hands of firm. Firm के हाथ में कोई capital gain नहीं. But if converted into company, however, there is a violation of 47(3) and AC. The amount credited in shown as loan. Therefore, the provisions of 47A will apply. This is 47A. So in case of KTC Automobiles, what the partner did, the partner, instead of referring the amount to capital account, credited as a current account as a loan. It is a violation because after that, what he did, he withdrew his loan account. Meaning thereby, they said there is a violation, and if there is a violation of the provisions, then section 47 capital A will come into picture. And what does section 47A says? 47A says that the firm has been not in existence, the capital gains shall be charged to tax in the hands of company. So dear friends, we should take care that it should only be credited to capital account and not to current account. Next question. This asset is a proprietorship concern, and he transferred the asset, and he made a partnership firm, constituted a partnership firm on 1/4/2011. The partnership, it was constituted on 1/4/2011. The partnership firm revalued the asset and credited the same to the capital account. I told you, you can make credit to the capital account. What the AO did, AO invoked 45(3). What is 45(3)? If what is 45(3)? 45(3) is capital contribution. What is the fair market value? Fair market value is amount recorded in the books. AO tried to invoke full value of consideration at revalued figures. In this case, the High Court said that the value as per 45(3) cannot be more than the amount recorded in the books of accounts. SLP dismissed. The matter traveled to Supreme Court, but it is SLP. The SLP later was dismissed. Therefore, the 45(3) cannot, the sale consideration cannot be increased or decreased. It has to be restricted as per amount recorded in the books of account. In this case, the revaluation was made in the capital account of the partner, and the firm was converted into company on 29/6/2011. So, meaning thereby, there is no violation as per 45(3). Therefore, this case was dismissed by the High Court. Issue number 3. The partnership firm revalued the asset and credited the same to the capital account of the partner. The firm later on was converted. I already said that there is no, it's amount to dissolution of firm. 45(4) says there must be dissolution of asset, distribution of asset, of capital asset on account of dissolution or otherwise. And conversion of partnership firm into company is not dissolution. Therefore, 45(4) cannot be invoked. If 45(4) cannot be invoked, there is what the AO did is AO want to tax the firm by applying provisions of section 44. The court said that it is not, there was no official dissolution of firm. Therefore, 45(4) cannot be invoked. Issue number 5. The partnership firm revalued the asset and credited the same to capital account of the partner. The partner deed was modified with which a new partner was introduced and old partner was retired. This is the normal phenomena we do. What he has done? He has done is that he has increased the partner's capital account, and after increasing the capital account, later on he modified the partnership deed and paid the amount to the partner in cash. I have already told you 45(4) cannot be invoked in my case 1. What was case 1? If the partner capital is paid in cash, it does not affect. Next is the reduction of share of whole capital is same as I'm ignoring this. Now this is the important concept because there is a twist. Now what we will say, stock taken over by the partner on dissolution of a firm. We all are well aware about of 2 cases, Shakti Trading Company and ALA firm. We all are aware. What does Shakti Trading Company says? Shakti Trading Company says if there is a discontinuity, if there is a transfer of stock without discontinuation of business, the value shall be determined by regular method. Regular method is cost of stock, whichever is lower. And whatever ALI firm said, if there is a dissolution of firm and the business is not continued, then in that case, the stock should be valued at, should not be valued at cost of NRV, whichever is lower, and should be valued at fair market value, at market price. Sir, what will this affect? What is whether the scenario of ALA firm and Shakti Trading Company still prevails or not? Sir, be patient with me. Be with me. We will see how it is not provided, how the ICDS has changed this. In this regard, I am just making the linkage with ICDS 2. ICDS 2 says cost or NRV, whichever. But dear friends, I want to draw your kind attention towards para 24. What it says, in case of dissolution of partnership firm or AOP or body of individual, the stock shall be valued at NRV, irrespective of the fact whether the business is continued or not. So meaning thereby, in today's era, what after ICDS 2, Shakti Trading Company is no more prevalent, but as per the revenue department. But if I am being a lawyer, I'm handling the case, I will still say that Shakti Trading Company is applicable because 145(2) has not been properly changed, properly amended. But if you ask me that while doing audit or while doing other things, I suggest you please follow ICDS. Don't go in litigation, because in paragraph 24, it has been specifically mentioned that it shall be recorded at NRV, irrespective of the fact whether the business is continued or not. Therefore, going concern, discounting of business, we don't have to see now. We have to value the stock at NRV. Furthermore, if that firm is a real estate developer, and if it's a real estate developer, so please be with me, there is a section of 43C capital A. What it says, in case of real estate developer, if we transfer any asset, it shall not be less than stamp duty value. So that has also to be followed. This is the concept which I thought it should be also be known to the viewers. Check. Now we are in the concept of 50C. What is 50C? Adoption of stamp duty value. Question says, if I go to the section of 50C, it is only applicable on land or building. It is not applicable right in capital assets. I have already explained that right in capital assets is not applied. Therefore, in case of tenancy rights, not applied. In case of development rights, 50C cannot be applied, because 50C only talks about, what it talks about, land or building. Capital gain on land, building, or both. It can be short term, it can be long term. Now it is divided in 50C 1, 2, and 3. What I have just made the crux of the story, the value computing full value of consideration for 48 shelves. For 48, not for 45, please be with me. For 48, 48 says full value of consideration, not for 45. 45 was the charging section. And how it affects? It affects assets distributed under stamp duty value act. What are the options available with the SSE? First option is that he should challenge the stamp duty in the court. I am not saying in the tribunal, in the court, meaning thereby the value which is given by the court will be accepted. Second method is, we can say that we don't agree with the stamp duty value. We go to the AO and say, please appoint valuation officer under section 55 capital A and not under section 142A. I have already discussed that. And the value as per the valuation officer, but cannot exceed STV. We all are aware, valuation officer क्या करता है? Stamp duty value 50 lakhs, उससे भी ऊपर कर देता है 60 lakhs. But AO 50 lakhs से ज़्यादा नहीं जा सकता. AO cannot exceed value more than stamp duty value. Assessee except STV. These will be the only questions. Exception. We all are aware about the exception, that 10% or 20%. 10% of sale consideration. Word here is sale consideration, not stamp duty value. Please be with me. This is very important. And we all are aware that the 43C and 50C, the limit of 10% has been increased to 20% with effect from 12th November 2020 to 30th June 2021, provided the residential sale value of unit is up to 2 crores. Now I have just jotted a thing. I'm ignoring that 2 crore limits because it is after press release. I'm just ignoring. Sale value as on is 5 lakh. Stamp duty value was 6.5. You can challenge before High Court said the value should be 590. As on date of agreement to sell will be taken. I am repeating again. There is a proviso in section 50C which says that if there is an agreement to sell and the payment is made by a check and the registered deed is made later on, then the stamp duty value as on date of entering into the agreement shall be taken into account. But consideration must be by check. So here was cash. Therefore, I have ignored this. Here is cash. I have ignored this. Here is cash. I have ignored this because only check has to be taken. Now the question was, what will be the sale price? There is a rider of 10% and 20%. These all calculations are on the basis of 10%. 5 lakh was the sale value of consideration. What High Court did 590. I can increase 5 lakh plus 10% is 550. So the sale value is 590 here. In my second case, what is 5 lakh? 6.5 lakh. This is no, because he hasn't challenged in High Court. He went to the AO and say, please refer to the valuation officer. What valuation officer did is 580. So if I add 10% to 5 lakh, the answer should be 580. This answer is 580 and so on. These are all the examples which I have taken care. I'm only highlighting that the 10% or 20% has to be taken on sale value and not on stamp duty value. You have to take care in the mind. Now these are the issues. Whether provisions of 50C is applicable to tenancy right or development right, answer is no, because word is land and building. Section 50C can be made applicable on sale of property other than registered agreement. I take an example. I have an agreement to sell. That agreement to sell was made and the possession I have got it, but the sale deed is not yet registered. In this case, 50C provisions can be made applicable. Answer is no. Why? The word uses assessable or assessed by state government. And you all are aware that if agreement to sell is the sale of property other than the registered agreement, 50C cannot be invoked. Stamp duty value is more than actual sales. Sir, ये क्वेश्चन बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है और ये क्वेश्चन बॉम्बे हाई कोर्ट ने recently in the case of Jagdish has discussed this issue. There was a confusion in the mind that what 54 EC said and 154 says and what section 50 say. I have told you section 50C talks about section 48 and does not talk about section 45. There was a view that, for example, I have sold a land for rupees 50 lakhs. As per stamp duty value is 70 lakhs. I have what amount I have received, I deposited in the bonds. So exemption shall be made available to me. The question was whether the deduction, whether the exemption shall be made of amount which I have actually received, or if the amount which was not received can also be made. They want to say that as per section 54 EC, the amount which he was not bound to receive because it was beyond his control to receive that amount, how he can make the investment. And there is a Lucknow bench decision in the case of Rajkumar which says that the deduction of 54 EC is available even the amount, provided the amount was invested in the full and provided of the full value in considering 50C. But beautifully judgment by Bombay High Court. Bombay High Court said, we are satisfied what the assessee is saying, but they said that by doing this 50C become redundant, and by the arguments you can't say that the 50C is redundant. They said that for all deductions under section, for all exemptions under section 54, 54F, 54 EC, the deeming provisions has to be taken care, should be substituted. Therefore, you have to take the amount, you have to invest that amount. This is the case. Next is the case when capital gain is assessed on notional basis, where the amount invested in new house, in residential house, irrespective of part of funds were invested from different sources. For example, there is a capital gain of 20 lakh rupees. Under section 54F, what I need to invest is, I need to invest is the full value of consideration. Sale consideration is 50 lakhs. Stamp duty value is 60 lakhs. Assessee couldn't invest 10 lakh rupees more. But he, out of his own funds, invested 4 lakh rupees. In this case, Karnataka High Court said, you are eligible to 50 plus 4 amount which were invested from a different source, not from the source from which the long-term capital asset is. Even in this case, 50C deduction was provided. Now, these are the types of possible plans. I am just, because of a short of time, I just want to give you a look. What are the possible plans? Agreement for construction. In this case, ICDS will apply. We all are aware. First is agreement for construction. Second is joint development agreement. Third is joint venture. What is agreement for construction? There is a contractor, there is a landowner. They make a contract. It can be a labor contract or a mixed contract. Applicability provisions, ICDS 343 CB and 194C. Second model is joint development agreement, and third model is joint venture agreement. We will discuss this everything. Now ICDS 3. We all are aware ICDS 3 is applicable to all assesses, including individual and HF. Is applicable to all assesses, including individual and HF, provided they are subject to audit under section 44AB. Provided there is income only for they had income from business or income from other sources, income from business or profession. So this was the contract cost. I just want to brief you what is the ICDS 3. This is the ICDS 3 talks about reasonable certainty. And whereas AS7 talks about outcome of a construction contract can be estimated reliably. There is a lot of difference between two. Reasonable certainty, when you are reasonable that the amount will be realized, and outcome of a contract can be estimated reliable is when you are certain that the profit can be booked, and till that you can restrict your sales equal to your cost. This is the funda, that WIP is equal to cost. There is a mismatch between 43 CB and AS7. Second is early stage completion. In ICDS, you are not liable to recognize income if the project is not completed up to 25%. But there is no such percentage in AS7. Retention money. It says that retention money has to be included in contract revenue, whereas AS7 says it shall be included only on the approval by contractor. These are certain things which I will be discussing in the next slide. Now, this is the example which I have taken. I entered into a contract with Mr. A. He said, Mr. B, if you will fulfill the contract in 3 years, I will pay you incentive of 5%. What ICDS says, in the first year, I have a reasonable certainty. In my case, reasonable certainty was in the first year. So the contract revenue will be 10.5 crores total sales, not 10 crores. But whereas in case of ICDS 7, what we were used to say, we say that 10 lakh will be booked in the year when it is approved, when we are sure that it will be realized. If in the year third, we are in a position that it will be made completed in the year third, we will recognize it, and otherwise we will not recognize it. So there is a difference. In ICDS, we says that reasonable certainty of ultimate collection, meaning thereby contract should be recognized if there is incentive. Now, contract revenue, I have discussed this, but there is a case of Excel Industries which says there are 3 parameters, very important case. I am just highlighting whether ICDS 3 is in line with the principles of the Supreme Court. Answer is no. They said there are 3 principles. Income is hypothetical. If the income is hypothetical, you can't book that income. In my case, you took the sales as 10.5 and asked me to apply percentage completion method on 10.5 crores. This is irony. Second case, he says, where the corresponding liability has been recognized by another party. Another party means the person with whom the contract has been entered, and there is a realistic probability of realization. But in ICDS, only one parameter is fulfilled. What is fulfilled? That there is that the realistic probability of realization, that there is a reasonable certainty. So these 2 conditions are still missing. So in my humble opinion, the Excel Industry case of Supreme Court still prevail even in spite of ICDS. Now, What is early stage completion contract? We have studied that as per ICDS 3, you are not liable to book the contract revenue. You can defer the contract revenue up to 25% of PCM. But in ICDS 7, AS7, this is not the method. You can defer until it is outcome is estimated reliably. Now I am coming about para 20. What it says that these are all 25%. I am just ignoring it. Retention money. Before getting it, I just want to give the background of 43 CB. The 43 CB was enacted by France Act 2018, and whereas ICDS were in 2017. Why this was enacted later and with retrospective effect? There is a logic behind it, because there is a case of Delhi text bar association in which it was said that some ICDS are unconstitutional and some provisions are unconstitutional because there is no change in the sections, and without tinkering the provisions of the sections, if there is a notification which says that ICDS says this, can't be made applicable. So there were many changes which were made in the relevant sections. One of that section is 43 CB, because before this percentage completion method, there was no section which says percentage completion method is to be adopted. So they made a change. Percentage completion method, they introduced that percentage completion method has to be followed in accordance with ICDS as notified under section 145 and with retrospective effect. You also know why. Second point, they said if the period duration of service is equal to or less than 90 days, then completion contract method is to be applied. In case where the service is based on the number of acts, for example, I am doing a retainership, it shall be divided according to the number of months, period of time. Second last points which are very important. They say that contract revenue include retention money. Big amendment made by 43 CB. Earlier, what we used to do, we defer the retention money until it is finalized by relying upon the judgment of Excel Industries, by relying on many more judgments which says that retention money should not be recognized and it can be deferred. But now, after this amendment, retention money will become revenue, and therefore there is a change in ICDS also. There is a change in 43 CB. So both have to be taken care. Last, contract cost shall not be reduced from the incident. Contract cost not to be reduced from incidental income. Contract cost में से आप incidental income minus नहीं करेंगे. Only three income: interest, dividend, and capital gain. They will be taxable under respective head. आप contract cost उतनी ही लेंगे, आप contract cost को reduce नहीं करेंगे. अब let us summarize this with the example. This is the case, meaning thereby all incidental income are to be reduced except three. I have already told you, interest income, dividend income, and capital gain income shall not be reduced. Otherwise, all the incomes will not be reduced. They will be separately credited in the profit and loss account. This is the case which I have dealt with. Total contract revenue as per agreement is 5 crore. Total estimated cost is 4 crore. Meaning thereby estimated profit was 1 crore. And you all are aware that if I take the cement industry, before lockdown, we were making trade with Pakistan, and each and everyone is aware that lot of cements were imported from Pakistan. And in case of construction contract, every year expenditure is revised. I have just taken the examples of percentage. In first year, it was 37.5%, 54, 8.5, cumulative is this. How did this have been calculated? This divided by total cost. But in this third year or second year, the cost was increased by 60 lakh. Earlier cost was 4 crore. It has been increased to 60 lakhs. Now I am as per AS7. What AS7 says? When there is a reasonable certain, when there is the outcome of a project can be relied. In my case, the SECI said, I am not in a position that whether I will be able to earn profit or not, because cement pricing is continuously rising. He said, I will defer the revenue. I will take the revenue equal to expenditure. This is as per books. I'm not talking about ICDS. 15 lakh, 1 crore 50 lakhs, cost is 1 crore 50 lakh. In the second year, what he did is, 91.5 is total is 4.57 crore. Already recognized 1.5 crore. This is this. In second year, contract expenditure was 2.5 crore. Profit is 57 lakh 50,000. Third year, 42.5. Contract expenditure, there is a loss of 17.5. This is as per AS7. I am not talking about as per ICDS. We all are aware that ICDS effect has only to be given in computation of income and not in books of income. Now, what was in ICDS? ICDS say after 25%, you have to compulsory book the income. If I say as per ICDS, you have to compulsory book the income. Income is 187.50 minus contract cost 37.50. Meaning thereby, now what in computation of income, what will I do? I haven't shown any income. There are two columns in the audit report, increase or decrease. In my audit report, I will say ICDS adjustment increase by 37.5. Income under the head PGBP is 37.5. No issues. In the next year, the income as per ICDS is 20 lakhs, and whereas the income as per profit and loss account was 57.5, I reduced the income of 37.5. The income is 20 lakhs. In the last year, 17.5, both are same, because in this case 17.5 and in last case 17.5, no adjustment is required. Now come to see the irony, because you are aware that in case of company MAT provisions are applicable. Though it is applicable, if you opt for new case, then MAT provisions will not apply. I'm not talking about the new case. I'm talking about the old case where the companies charge at the rate of 30%. Now 37.5, 30.9, tax as per MAT 0. Whichever is higher, this income tax is whichever is higher, this MAT credit is 0. Next, what will be the next case? Tax as per income tax 624. Tax as per MAT this. Whichever is higher is this, MAT credit is 482,300. Last year, there is no MAT credit, but still you have a MAT credit of 482,300. Now see the irony. The total tax which was paid was this plus this. It is total is to the tune of 22,650. And there is a loss which is required to be carried forward. Dear friends, in India, we don't have provision to make to take the loss backward. We have only carry forward loss provision and not. And if I close my company, what will be happened? This loss will be finished. I am taking the next example. I am just drawing your attention, but the meaning thereby, what was the profit? Profit was 40 lakhs, and the department has taken the tax of 22 lakhs 65,050 on 40 lakhs and asked to carry forward loss of 750. There is a preponement of taxes. The government has taken the taxes from my pocket. Instead, there is a MAT credit of 4,82,300. Now, the next model is superstructure model, which we say is that in case of joint owner. Now, in the case of joint owner, you all are aware there is a section 45(5)(a) which has been introduced. In my case, there are act of transfer and one is act of transfer. Transfer says, I will transfer my 30% land to the transferee provided you construct my 70% of land. 70% of land will be constructed by the transferee of the transfer, and in kind he will pay 30% of land. We all are aware about that. But I am now referring to 247 clause 5. Very important. Be patient. Within 10 minutes, I will leave the floor, but only for 10 minutes. Please listen to me. Section 15(3)(a), Transfer of Property Act 1882. These are acts of transfer. There is a contract of transfer for a consideration of a windmill property, written and signed. These are the conditions. These are for transfer. And transferee take possession of the part. In my case, possession shall be taken of 30% of land. Third point, the transferee being continuous in possession of performance of contract and has performed or is willing to perform. Meaning thereby he is saying that 70% of the superstructure he has built up, and in consideration 70% of 30% of land he got. But land is still not registered in the name of the assessee transferee. There is a notwithstanding. It says that even that land is not registered in the case of transferee, then also he shall be treated as deemed owner. मान लिया जाएगा, assume it that it is a deemed owner. Now, what was there is an amendment in section 17 of Registration Act on 24th of 9, 2001. I'm just referring to the amendment. it said that all agreements related to immovable property whose value is more than rupees 100 shall be registered. And there was also section 17(1)(a), which says that even for purpose of part performance of contract, that is saying about this, it shall also be registered. Meaning thereby, if there is a part performance of contract, the agreement to sell must be registered. If agreement to sell is not registered, it has no relevance. This is the crux of it. Now, these are the cases that the joint development agreement, if unregistered, has no value in the eyes of law. I'm just skipping this. This is the coming to 45(5). What is 45(5)(a)? 45(5)(a) was amended, and because in case of joint development agreement, the applicability, because earlier there was a litigation. To end the litigation, they said that for the calculation of capital gain, the full value of consideration shall be taxable the year in which completion certificate is issued. Mind my words, taxability in which year? In which completion certificate is issued. So, dear friends, this applicability is only for individual HUF, not for firm AOP, BOI, LLP. Transfer of capital asset, land, building, or both. Year of taxability, year in which COC received, completion certificate is received. Full value of consideration, that is stamped value of land plus building plus cash consideration and cash consideration. 45(5)(a) is not applicable if the landowner sell his share before obtaining cost of completion. In my case, the 70% of the flats which he has received is his sold flats between them, then 45(5)(a) will not apply. I have just made this slide. Within 2 minutes, I will leave the floor. Mr. A. Mr. A is individual HUF, entered a joint development agreement. It should be registered because of section 17. We have already read it. Agreement made in writing. It is registered. And furthermore, there is a word specified agreement in 45(a), and specified agreement means the agreement which is in writing. Case 1, he transferred 100% of land. Case 2, he transferred 30% of land. In my case, which I was dealing with, 70% superstructure area was constructed by the builder and 30% I transferred the land. So forget about section. Let us say what the lawmaker wants. What he has received 70% of superstructure area, and he has given 30% of land in barter. This is the whole case. So sale consideration, we can give this. If portion is transferred, stamp duty value of superstructure along with cash consideration, if any. In my case, 70% and plus cash component. And index cost of what he has transferred 30% of land. So proportionate transfer of area. Let us take the example. In this case, Mr. A had 1,000 square yards, purchased for 50 lakhs. Total flats on 70% were 10 lakhs. 30% of land area was transferred. And in consideration, Mr. B has given 1 crore of rupees cash to Mr. A. So meaning thereby, I can say Mr. B has given 1 crore cash plus construction of 70% of built up area on where 10 flats are to be built. So what is the full value of consideration? I have said you stamp duty value of superstructure only. Be with me. My humble view is this, not of full land, because what I have got in return, I have got construction value. If the flats were of 25 lakh and land value is 15 lakh, meaning thereby if I subtract, value is 10 lakh. So 10 flats, I received 1 crore plus cash consideration 1 crore, meaning thereby total amount received is 2 crores. 2 crores is the sale consideration. Cost of land will be 50 lakhs, 30% into year of transfer divided by year when it was acquired. By following the same circular 791 and same analogy of Rudra Industrial Corporation, which I have already discussed, I have taken this benefit. So with this, there is also a provision of section 49(7). I am not dealing with that because of paucity of time. And I will share this slide with the office bearers. So please, now the floor is all yours, ma'am. And if any questions, you can please take.
If anyone has any doubts, you can unmute yourself and ask questions.
Good evening, sir. I'm JV Ravindra.
Yes, I think everybody is clear on the topics what sir has explained.
Sir,
Thank you, sir, for your lucid presentation.
Thanks a lot, sir.
You have taken us through various sections related to capital gains in detailed manner with practical examples that made our learning easier and effective. Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks a lot, sir.
Yeah. Sir, can I raise my doubt?
Yes.
Sir, in case of an owner who transfers 70% of the plot area to the builder,
Yes, sir.
and 30% the builder will construct and then give back the built on flats to the owner.
Yes, sir.
There is no consideration.
Yes, sir.
So in such a case, if the agreement is made on 2018,
yes, sir,
and the possession is given on in 2020,
yes, sir,
will there be capital gains arising?
Yes,
at the
I
time
just want to add to your knowledge that there must be a specified agreement, and specified agreement here means registered agreement.
Yes.
And 45(5)(a) will come into picture only when there is a registered agreement. And 45(5)(a) says that year of transfer will be, year of taxability will be when the completion certificate has been obtained. In your case, if it has been obtained in 2020, it will be taxable. If not, it will not be taxable. But the registration of agreement, the agreement must be registered. It is mandatory.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot.
Sir, I'm Gorki Subbarao.
Yes, sir.
Sir, I have a doubt. My
Yes,
client has 10 acres of agricultural land.
Okay, sir.
He wants to convert into a commercial site.
Yes, sir.
And he wants to give it to a developer who will develop only a layout, no construction of flats or anything.
Okay.
70% will be retained by the SSE, 30% will be
sir.
given to the developer of the,
Okay,
of the
sir.
site.
Okay,
What
sir.
will be the taxability?
Sir, just I am repeating the question. Your SSE is a agriculturist, and he is giving land to the developer, but the developer will only develop the area, but will not construct the flats on it.
Yes, sir.
This is the question. So
Yes,
again, that the 45(5)(a) question is whether 45(5)(a) will come into picture or not. Second question is whether the income of the agriculturist will be under the head capital gains, or it will be taxable under the head business income.
Right.
These are the two questions which are to be addressed. First, I want to tell you that whether in this case, whether 45(5)(a) will come into picture or not. This is, if the agreement made with the builder is a registered agreement, and as per the
sir, we lost the audio.
Hello, it is audible?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Sir, in that case, if I go to 45(5)(a), it clearly says that full value of consideration is after completion. In your case, it is no completion certificate will be obtained. Therefore, 45(5)(a) will not be applied. If 45(5)(a) will not apply, what will be the applicability? The applicability will be as per the normal provisions. Now, it depends if the SSE wants to get his model converted into a business. Then in that case, I have discussed a case of a Karnataka bench in which says that the agriculture land was converted into capital asset and sold on later on. It says that the cost of acquisition should be taken as original one, meaning thereby the fair market value as on date when it was converted into stock in trade shall not be taken into account. Therefore, that benefit shall not be allowed. Second question is that 45(5)(a) is out of picture. Now, if I want to make tax in the capital gains, under what provisions it will be applied? First of all, there must be possession has been given. Second, agreement must be registered, and all the provisions of part performance of contract has been fulfilled. What I want to convey that all the things which the transferee has, which the developer has committed he has completed it, and in lieu of that, you have given the possession of 30 or 70% as the case may be in your case. If these conditions are fulfilled, the capital gain will be applied. Otherwise, it will not be applied. There is a case of Balbir Singh Mani on it. It says that joint development agreement must be registered. I have put 3 cases more, which says that if part performance contract has not been completed in full, then in that case, capital gain will not apply till all the conditions of part performance of contract has been fulfilled. Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. With this, we'll come to an end to our first session. So now we'll proceed to the second session of today. Our next guest is someone whose very profile blew my mind at the first glance. Governor of Gujarat called him Legend of Surat. Health Minister of Gujarat called him the Star of Surat. A prominent face in Gujarati dramas and films, and also multi-faceted personality in painting, drama, elocution, and world peace summits. He served as a chairman to Surat branch in 2005 and vice chairman of WIRC in 2012. Currently a Central Council member and holding various positions. With more than 2 degrees to his name, I'm rather excited and blessed to welcome CA Jayacharya to speak what he does the best: innovate or evaporate. Welcome, sir.
Welcome, sir. Welcome to Visakhapatnam via virtual mode, sir. You may take over the session, sir. No, unmute.
Yeah. A very good evening to all of you. The chairperson of the branch, my esteemed friends, and my council colleague Prasanna Kumarji, and all my dear friends. First of all, let me compliment the southern region along with Visakhapatnam branch for such a wonderful program. I have seen the structure of the program, very well designed, and I must compliment Rohit Kapoor, the previous speaker, for having a wonderful session. And the topic that has been given to me, actually, Prasanna ji had told me from whenever any of the branches of Andhra Pradesh comes into picture, Prasanna ji immediately, would be charged up. I remember the moment I took up the chairmanship of Board of Studies, the first thing he did was, sir, these are the AP branches. These are the 3 branches, Vizag and Vijayawada, and I don't remember honestly all the names, but he said that write down these 3 branches. You have to give 3 programs first to these branches, and then I think during this year, friends, believe me, the highest programs under my committee are in Andhra Pradesh, and that is thanks to Prasanna ji. Every now and then I'll get a call from him that this is a very good branch of Andhra Pradesh, and you have to support this branch in best possible manner. I can see a very good friend of mine, PVSP Kumar. So first of all, thanks to the branch and the region for providing this opportunity. A few months back, I think 2 months back, President ICI, C. Atul Kumar Gupta ji, he told me that you have been speaking a lot on management, various topics, but I would rather insist that when you go to our chartered accountancy branches, then stick to one particular topic. I have selected one topic which I believe is very much useful to all the chartered accountants across the country, and kindly speak on that particular topic, innovate or evaporate. So I spoke at a few branches, maybe 1 or 2. I spoke initially at Chennai. From Chennai, people liked it. I got the opportunity to speak at Qatar. Then Sydney chapter also asked for the same topic. Last week I had the same topic at Nairobi chapter Africa. And thereafter, I got a call from Prasanna Kumarji that I have heard a lot from the president that this topic is very useful for chartered accountants. You can particularly this topic. I said I'll be very happy to discuss that. And the topic that I'm going to take up, this might not be immediately touching up your regular practice, but believe me, chartered accountants have wonderful potential. And sometimes I feel, and sometimes I tell young chartered accountants that, are you sleeping lions? You know, there is too much of potential within you. And sometimes you even do not know how to manifest it and how to grow your practice beyond the limits. So with that intention, this topic was created. Friends, when I joined the region a decade back, actually I joined the ICI activities in 95. And thereafter, slowly and gradually, I reached the region. And friends, when I initially joined ICI activities, at that time, whenever you talked about chartered accountant, it was only a CA in practice. See, I'm talking way back 95. At that time, when you talk about CA means CA in practice. There are very few into industry, and probably people would not consider them as chartered accountant. That was an era. But of course, by 2000, all the equations changed, and we could see that more than practicing chartered accounts, we had more industry members. When I entered in region, I discussed with the chairman of WIRC that, sir, one of my vision is that now that we are a very balanced profession where we have 50-50 into practice as well as industry, why not the third front, another important front, chartered accountants as entrepreneurs? And friends, believe me, while I was in region, I made some study and I could see that those chartered accountants who are into entrepreneurship, they have worked out wonders. They have worked out wonders. So chartered accountants are best suited for entrepreneurship. What is the reason for that? What is the reason for that? Friends, from the articleship period, we are privy to the data, to the information, to the knowledge that our clients have. We serve different clients belonging to different industry. Some into corporates, some of course MNCs, some unorganized sector, some small firms, some big ones, and you know, all different type of sectors. So if we use our experience that we have gained from that, and if we realize our potential, then I think entrepreneurship is very natural for chartered accountants. And why I'm telling this today, sir, while we were only 50,000 chartered accountants some 2-3 decades back, less than 50,000, if all the chartered accountants would discuss about 43C and 50 capital A and 50C and 45 pi as the previous speaker was talking about, right? That was okay. If we all were into income tax, that was fine. If we all into audit, that was fine. But when we are now reaching 4 lakhs, after this result, after this exam's result would be out, we would be nearly touching 4 lakhs. Now, with this 4 lakh number, do you think all the chartered accountants can be easily absorbed in audit and tax only? And with the changing canvas of the practice of the corporates, right, with the technologies coming in. So there comes the question. So particularly this topic is for encouraging the young people to develop new types of practices. And friends, believe me, there are opportunities. The only thing is that we sometimes do not look at. By the way, when I talk about innovate, a few days back, once again, thanks to my council colleague Prasanna ji, he told me Vijayawada branch wants to do this program and your committee has to fully endorse this program. And that's a very good branch. I said, okay, sir. And I attended that particular program. I was the second speaker. I listened to the first speaker. The chairman told me, sir, kindly listen to this speaker, is very good. And friends, believe me, I have seen that the branch was doing number of innovative programs. And some of the programs, I can say that even I have not seen in major metropolitan cities, which they have conducted. So, you are from such a state where I think innovation is very much a basis for you. Well, now let me come very quickly to my topic. Madam, I already sent you the PPT. Can you start with that? So, once again, why innovate or evaporate? Friends, I have a very simple question to you. 50 years back, some product was very successful in India. Do you think today the company can survive with the same product? I think it's difficult. You require making changes on a regular basis. You have to look at the social changes. You have to look at the technological aspects. You have to look at the aspirations of the users of the products and services. Similar is the case. 50 years back, what we used to do in the profession, doing the same thing. Do you think we are going to succeed? And friends, kindly understand one thing. When it comes to knowledge, our profession is second to none. And particularly, say, look at the topics like maybe income tax and now GST and company law and audit and so many things. But friends, let us understand one thing. Knowledge is only one of the parameters for success. Only one of the parameters. Just because I have some knowledge or just because I know certain provisions which other people do not know. Just because you have knowledge does not ensure that you will become successful. I'll give an example. Before that, I just remember one particular statement or two statements made by one gentleman who was also from India, but he was the dean of the college where I studied international business in US. I did my international business at Los Angeles, and there the dean was an Indian. He asked me on the very first day, "You are from which place?" I said, "Sir, I'm from Surat, Gujarat." And then he said, "Oh, Indian." And then he said, "Now look at the two statements he made. These are very profound statements. The first statement was, "Oh, you Indians are too intelligent." Now, naturally, being an Indian, anybody would be happy. You Indians are too intelligent. And the second statement, "So you cannot earn." You cannot earn. Now, this might look very contradictory. And was it a demeaning statement? No. No. He rather wanted to give us another perspective. Another perspective. While knowledge is power, and we have always worshipped knowledge as Saraswati, we do understand. But it is more than just acquiring knowledge. How to utilize it, that is something very crucial. And here comes an example. Friends, tell me one thing. Indian restaurant versus US restaurant. Who has more knowledge? Indian. Right? If you come to Gujarat, come into any restaurant, you will find they have 400 items. You will find Punjabi items 50. You will find South Indian items 50. You will find Chinese items. You will find, entire world will be there on the platter. 400 items. And what is McDonald's? McDonald's, does it have any knowledge? No. According to me, no. It can only produce one burger. That's it. And some accessories, I'll use the word. Accessories to burgers. Nothing more than that. They cannot, but ruling the world. Who is ruling the world? The one with more knowledge or the one with strategy? So let us understand what I'm trying to tell you. While knowledge is one of the important parameters for success, and on that front, we have been excellent. Or let me put it differently. In the team of cricket, if you have all the wonderful batsmen and only batsmen, no bowlers, what will happen? What will happen? Even though you have the finest batsmen, but if you don't have wonderful bowlers and fielders at the same time, what happens? Same happens when we only think about knowledge and we don't look at the strategy. We don't look at the innovative ways of expanding, whether profession or business or services or whatever the case may be. So with this intention, our president, Atul Gupta, a very dynamic president under his leadership we are working, he makes a very profound statement, and that is, more than your aptitude, it is your attitude which determines your altitude. So you require aptitude and you require attitude, the blend of both. Similarly, you require knowledge and you require understanding of business, because we are business consultants. We are not only tax consultants. Tax is only a peripheral item for a businessman, though it might be our subject, though it might be core competency. But look at from the business perspective, it is one of the aspects. You have to look at the 360 degree. You have to rise and become 360 degree consultants. That is the need of the hour. And for that purpose, we have to understand the changes in business. And friends, tell me, is it not so that the entire southern India, after the technology revolution, has changed? With this IT industry coming up first in Hyderabad, right? That IT industry was going to come to Gujarat, and that time Chandrababu Naidu was much more smarter than the CM of Gujarat, and he smartly took over the IT sector. And then you know very well, South has totally changed. The entire world Take any country, any major corporate, it has to depend on South for the technology, for the systems, for all their cyber securities, and for all their software requirements. So, look at it. If that one fundamental, that innovation, if Chandrababu Naidu had not done, then the things would have been different. So, a very interesting topic, innovate or evaporate. And believe me, as I said, we have great potential in ourselves, but only and only if this potential comes out, then it is of some use. So let me start with some simple examples now. Innovate or evaporate. Let us start with the right-hand side, Bajaj scooter. I'm not sure about Vizag and other cities, but Surat, my city, each and every household, once upon a time, had this scooter. I think that might be the case with you people also. I can see some faces nodding. So yeah, so this was a product which was there in every household. Where is it? It has disappeared. This product, Bajaj company did not innovate more in that. Fortunately, Bajaj company very rightly came up into motorcycles. They shifted the product portfolio and could survive. Had they not done that, they would have evaporated. But at least regarding this model, they have evaporated. If this model could have been fine-tuned, then rather than Honda Activa and rather than any other, maybe during those days, Kinetic and all other mopeds, you would have preferred this one. So anyway, you can just look at it. One product which was found in each and every household has disappeared. Look at the left side, Kodak. All my dear friends who are of my age or senior to me, right, nearly 50, they will appreciate this fact that while we were into photography, we had to take the help of Kodak. We had no options. Kodak, Konica, Fujifilm, hardly 3 companies, and that also Kodak constituted more than 50% of the market for the entire globe. You could not even imagine photography without Kodak. Where is it? Where is Kodak? Evaporated. The third example, Orkut. Those once again of my generation who started social media with Orkut, you might be aware of the fact that we were all on Orkut. And one fine day, Facebook replaced Orkut. One fine day. And our children say that, Father, you are outdated. We are on Insta. Now I'll tell you one very interesting thing, friends, on Insta also. Kindly look at it. See business, how business is different. I asked one youngster, I asked so many youngsters, what is the difference between Facebook and Instagram? I very genuinely asked, candidly, because I also wanted to understand why I should be on Instagram. I already on Facebook. And he said, you can load the pictures, you can do this, but I said that is done in Facebook also. That can be done on Facebook also. So he could not give the answer, but then I tried to research it and look at the very interesting research. Why this question came to my mind? Why it should be so when Facebook is providing the same thing? Why it should purchase Instagram at such a huge amount? It was Mark Zuckerberg's Facebook which purchased WhatsApp at $19 billion US. $19 billion US. Why it should purchase Instagram, which is giving the same features? So the answer was, I got the answer. It is termed as Levy's or Levi's effect. Now, what is this Levi's effect? It's very innovative. And the effect is that if one particular generation is comfortable with one platform, the next generation does not want to come on the same platform. If father is on Facebook, son would not be very comfortable on that, chatting with people on that. So this was the thought process they had, and they picked up Instagram. And we could not even imagine such can be the situation. Like as a chartered accountant, I would have thought about it. Oh, why do you spend so much on it when you already have it on Facebook? But look at it. Now this was something innovative. If they had not considered that, then like Orkut made this mistake. They did not understand the Levi's effect. So they evaporated, right? Anyway, life is full of uncertainties. I think making this statement in 2020 is not required at all. Everybody understands uncertainties. So life is full of uncertainties. Only 3 things are certain in life. Breathe in, breathe out. Of course, for chartered accountant, there can be 3A and 3B also, income tax. Well, that is also very certain, but innovation. Now, when I talk about innovation, some of you might think We are commerce people, we are chartered accountants, we are business consultants. Why do we want to understand inventions, science? No, I am not talking about science. I am not talking about inventions. I am not going to make you Albert Einstein or Isaac Newton or Archimedes. I am trying to make you aware of what is going on in the business. Because friends, if you do not understand the global business, then you cannot serve the business community. And you will have to be into the peripheral areas, which is going to give very limited fees. Kindly appreciate this fact. With all the digitalization, with everything becoming online, even income tax, right? Naturally, the fees are not going to rise tremendously. Kindly do understand, fees are not going to rise. Friends, you know, when I became a fresh chartered accountant, I'm talking 97. At that time, whatever was the fees for income tax filing a return in Surat, unfortunately, it has become only 2x today. Only 2x. And you can understand where the real estate has gone, where the stock market has gone. That means our real income has gone down. Why real income has gone down? Because even though you have extreme knowledge, but if you deal with the peripheries of the business and you don't understand the nucleus, you do not add value, you do not grow the business, right? You become the growth engine or growth agent, you don't get a wonderful share out of it. So that is the concept, right? Anyway, so innovation. Yeah, let us move further, please. The next slide. Next slide, madam, please. I'm not sure who is handling the slides. Yes, please. Yeah. So once again, when it comes to innovation, once again, you don't expect at least this dairy milk. But I am going to talk on this topic as I'm talking to my chartered accountant friends. Kindly to understand that. What is innovation? Kindly understand that. Because I repeat, either we are entrepreneurs or we are consultants to entrepreneurs. Kindly understand. Now it is dairy milk. How do we link it with innovation? So once again, people of my age, those who have grown up in 80s, 70s and 80s, people of my age, you know very well, while we were growing up, dairy milk or Cadbury's, any product, 5-star would mean it was only available for very rich people. And we used to say, bigde hue bacche. If you understand Hindi, then in our place would say, bigde hue bacche. In a year, only one chocolate would come in a family. And that would be shared by 10 people. That was a scene, right? So the question for Cadbury's company was not to compete with others. It was to grow the market. Now suppose I am the CEO of Cadbury's company and I come to you as a consultant that I want to increase the sale. What advice would you give me? You would say, as per economics, you know, when the price goes down, demand moves up, you decrease the price. No, that does not work out that way. So look at the beauty, how they innovated. They called some 4 or 5 strategists. They started discussing, when do these Indians spend? Let us first think about it. When do Indians spend and when to touch them up? When to touch them up? I think here also I can see some innovation, because when I don't want the slide to move, it moves. So I tell you, they came out, these 4 or 5 people started discussing, and the innovative thought process was, Indians spend the most on festivals. Indians spend the most at the time of festivals. So if we sell the same product in a different way, then we can expand our markets. And they came out with the concept of celebrations. Maybe at the time of Diwali, or at the time of Raksha Bandhan, or at the time of Holi, or at different times, they came up with celebrations. Friends, as a chartered accountant, once again, kindly understand, as a chartered accountant, my common sense says that when you put 4 chocolates in the same box, and suppose each chocolate costs 20 rupees, then box costs 80 rupees. When you sell all 4 together, then you should give some discount. And from 80, you should come down to 70. I think you will also agree with me. That is economics. But believe me, rather than bringing down the price, they increased it. Tell me, how many of us realize this fact? So kindly understand, even chartered accountants as customers are not rational. See, as customers, nobody is rational. A customer is always emotional. Friends, kindly understand this. I'll give another beautiful example. Once I was sitting near French consulate for European visa in Mumbai, and there were some 2 hours for my turn. So I was just looking at where to sit, and I could find one cafe coffee day. Now, interesting, just look at it. There was a packet of cookies, and it was written 50 gram, 75 rupees. Right? Now, naturally, as a chartered accountant, I am not a fool to throw away 75 rupees or 50 gram. That is what my logic says. But next to it was written 100 gram. 100 gram. And instead of 75, if 50 is for 75, then 100 should be less than 150. Logically, double. But because you are offering a big one, there they had written 170. And I could just listen to one couple sitting there. Oh, should we go for this? Well, yes. Small one or big one? Oh, let us go for a big one. That will be cheaper. Who is there to calculate, friends? We are chartered accountants. We think the world is logical. Kindly understand, a businessman has to be rational. Customers are emotional. Here comes the innovation. Just look at it. Cafe Coffee Day understands that. Only a chartered accountant who is free for 2 hours waiting for French consulate only is going to calculate. Others are not going to calculate. So go ahead. So just believe me, Cadbury's company just packed some chocolates and increased the price, and their sale increased by 400% within a short span. Can you understand what is 400%? Imagine if your fees increases by 400%. How would you feel? 400%. Right? So if sale increases by 400%, friends, we understand leverage. We understand leverage. When sales increases by 400%, not all your fixed cost increase 8%. So your profit would increase by more than 1000%. Look at the leverage. So that means if you are earning 100 crores, you will make 1100 crores with this strategy. Could we imagine? Just by targeting. So now look at it. What was your innovative strategy? They did not say our chocolates are good. They did not say our chocolates are better than our competitors. They just said that during this Diwali, you are giving the same old gifts. Nobody like it. You give our gifts. You give our gifts. And slowly and gradually they entered in our market and expanded their markets. Now, after some 2-3 years, when their market grew up too much, they once again started thinking about it. They said, now we require some more innovation. What is happening? At the time of these programs, celebrations, that is such type of festivals, our sale increased, but not during the year. And still our products are being consumed only by higher class people, higher income people. Still middle or lower middle people are not consuming. How to target them? Because they constitute majority of India. If we can enter into that market, our sale will increase once again by some 400-500%. So now what to do? What to do? What to do? What to do? Now look at innovation. They only come out with a simple tagline. Kuch meetha ho jaye, aaj pehli tarikh. I don't know what you must be telling in your language, how your advertisement is put, but in our case, it was kuch meetha ho jaye, aaj pehli tarikh. Now this advertisement, you and I would take it very lightly. No, it's a very profound innovation. How? Now just look at it. A poor father who has very limited income. Now his son tells, father, I want shoes. Father would say, sorry, son. Father would say, sorry, son. It is not feasible. Father would say, sorry, son, it is not feasible. Next month I'll provide. Next month I'll provide. I think somebody would have required to mute. Madam, you can mute the person. Yeah. So, what I was talking about, look at it. Now that father says the son, sorry, next month we'll purchase. I think that if the host is there, host can mute every other person. Yeah. So, the next time the son would say, father, I want shirt, and father would say, sir, next month. Now 3 times the son would be rejected. Now the 4th time the son would say, father, aaj pehli tarikh. Now father would say 10 rupees, 20 rupees is within my reach and he'll purchase it. This is how they entered the middle class. So kuch meetha ho jaye pehli tarikh hai was a very big innovation. It once again increased the sales by at least 400-500%. Now can you imagine? Earlier 400-500% means 5 times. Now once again 5 times. That means 25 times. Today Cadbury has 83% market in India, which is increasing at a very high CAGR. At a very high CAGR. 83% market is not a joke. And that also in India, where more and more people are coming into this particular thing. Now they'll have to be more innovative. How to, still enter into. So this was one example. See where innovation is there. Strategy. Now look at this one. 2020. Now you might feel, what is the innovation in this? Friends, before 2020, the same cricket was shown to us known as Ranji Trophy. Now 2020 is effectively Ranji Trophy, nothing else. Put in an innovative way. Kindly understand. How many of us used to watch Ranji Trophy? Hardly any. But the same 2020 with different colors of clothes, with the auction model, with financial model, and the way the jugglery was done, was it not innovative? The same age-old cricket delivered in a new way. Was it not a huge? Otherwise, tell me one thing. We were only watching international cricket. We never watched domestic. Today, we are there to watch domestic only thanks to innovation. So kindly understand the power of innovation. Only because of innovation, some Ranji Trophy becomes IPL. Earlier ICL and then IPL. Right? Next one, please. So if you look at it, innovation is everywhere. And as a consultant, when my client grows, next one, please. As a consultant, when my client grows, it's naturally going to be. Madam, next one, please. As a consultant, naturally, if my client is going to grow beyond the limit, then I'm going to get a share out of it. Right? Now, you look at it. I am not sure, once again, in your place, whether you watch Bollywood or not, I'm not sure. I do watch some South movies, but I'm not sure what Bollywood, whether you watch it or not. But this particular gentleman, now kindly understand one thing. Why I use this person's example. In India, at least in Bollywood, once you are old, nobody takes you in your movies. It is said that once the cow is old, it is soon sold. This gentleman was once upon a time an angry young man, a super hit. But after that, he was a super failure for a decade, to such an extent that his house was also auctioned. He had become bankrupt. What happened thereafter? Innovation. He understood that angry young man does not grow. I have to change the roles. I have to change the roles in such a way that, an old person, I have to select such roles which are suitable to the old person, and I have to target the new type of audience in India. And then the innovation was there. Even this movie, Pink, if somebody has watched, the way the dialogues were written, very innovative. Na sirf ek shabd nahi hai, was very innovative. So you look at innovation, and the next one is very much from your place. The next one, please. This is a remake of your film. I think this was a movie from probably Andhra or Telugu film, which was a Hindi remake. If you watch this movie, there was one particular dance sequence. You might once again feel a chartered accountant talking to chartered accountants and talking about dance. Why so? But I'll tell you the answer. Because, wherever you'd go for 2 years after this movie was launched, in any of the dance party, whether other songs are played or not, but at least this song would be there. Chinta ta chita chita, if you heard about it, right? Very simple steps, very simple. But was it not innovative? Just look at it. They captured the youth across the country. Was it a very powerful dance step? Was it some Prabhu Deva performing great steps? No. It was only simple one, but innovative one. Now kindly understand, see, what I'm trying to tell you is getting to the nerves of the customers. That you have to understand. See, when my chartered accountant friends say that our fees are not increasing, then I have to tell you, you are not getting to the nerves of the users of the service. And there comes innovation. Just doing good work is not enough. getting good fees is also essential. And you will agree with me in the second front, on the second front, we are not very good at. You have to agree with me, right? So without that innovative way, how can you catch the nerves of the people? Believe me, friends, I've always got the fees which I wanted. I've never cried for undercutting or like that. People pay me very happily. Anyways, I'm actually an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur, chartered accountant. I started my software company. I came into constructions. Then I came into training business, and I have my management consultancy firm. I also started my mobile charger manufacturing firm. And you know, what I'm trying to tell is, all this business is going on and you're remaining free. Is it not innovative? Right? You're remaining free, no deadlines, and money keeps on coming regularly. I think that is very much possible. My point is, I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about the knowledge that we have, utilizing it, executing it. That is my point. Now, once again, when you talk about innovative, this particular film, I'm sure all the people, I think most of the people have watched this movie, Titanic, and they liked it. There are so many romantic movies, But the way this movie has been created and the end of this movie, the way it has been designed, where you see honesty of a cop or honesty of other people, and you look at all the things, you find it a masterpiece. Was it not innovative? Right? Similarly, the next one, I think this is the height of innovation. People say that the same type of movies are there. You know, sometimes the elder generation says that today's movies are very bad. You know, too much of, we can say, violence and sex and, you know, abusive words and so many things. And the directors would say, jo public ko chahiye hum wo dete. By the way, friends, I'll tell you one thing. The guy who gave me the first break in a movie, I worked in some few movies and drama. The guy who gave me the first break was Chandradhar Putta. He is a Telugu person. He somehow found me, and Chandrahar Putta, that was his surname. If I am not sure about it, he is from some town near Hyderabad, some village near Hyderabad. And he gave me the first break. He offered me the first movie. Of course, it is in Gujarati. So, and I had the opportunity to even study at Osmania University, Hyderabad. I have studied in many of the universities of South, particularly in Hyderabad also. So I was talking about this Baby's Day Out, as I was talking about. Just look at it. While many directors are complaining, hum wahi dete hain jo public ko chahiye. We provide what the public requires. Was Baby's Day Out not an innovation? Just imagination of someone that you can make hero a kid of 6 months. Was it not innovation? Friends, kindly understand, there are many scopes in practice also, which are very innovative. Now look at the example here. Look at this particular picture. In this, look at the bottoms, this shredded jeans. Oh, logically, sorry to say that, if somebody would ask me as a logical person about these denims, then I would say only a fool will wear it. Only a foolish person can wear it. But friends, world is not made up of people like you and me. Right? World is different. Now understand once again, all those my friends, kindly understand how to create markets. Sir, we have to create markets. You have not learned that art. By providing services, you will get a small chunk. By expanding markets, you get big chunks. I think it is as simple as this. So even though I might be too very intelligent, I know so many laws, I know so many taxation statutes, I know so many standards, but ultimately what will happen? I'll get a small chunk. But if I can expand the markets, right? Ultimately, see, the bottom line is that everyone wants to grow. Ultimately, it is that. And particularly, I am from a state of entrepreneurs, Gujarat, and particular city, Surat. Surat is said to be an entrepreneur city where there are so many people who have come from villages. They have never gone to school, but they are all billionaires. They're all billionaires. And they tell me, when I meet these people, friends, believe me, the diamond, you might be aware of this fact that 95% of the diamonds in the world is produced in Surat. 95%. And textiles, it is a big textile hub. And in diamond, I have met many people who have never gone to school. And they tell us that, boss, you understand one thing. You might be a chartered accountant. I am understanding one thing, what I expect from you. You either increase my sales or you reduce my cost. right? Or you provide me alternatives for huge investments, or you increase my productivity, right? When I say, sir, I'll file your tax return, then you would say there are 100 other chartered accountants to do the same thing. Now, can you understand why I'm talking about innovation? See what the user of the service wants. And I'll give some 2 examples here. One of my chartered accountant friends approached a diamond merchant. Now look at the innovation. I'm giving an example of innovation in our field. He went to a diamond person. I'm talking something 15 years back. 15 years back. He went to a diamond merchant and he said that I can see that for next 1.5 years, there is going to be some slack in diamond market. That would mean if you invest into raw material, it's going to be locked up working capital. So better do not invest. You can clearly see this situation. So why don't we do one thing? Your cash will be generated. I'll give you a better alternative. Why don't you purchase a copper mine in Africa? I've done all the groundwork. This is the copper mine. I can negotiate with the government in Africa on your behalf. I'll make the HR recruitment on your behalf. I'll see to it that this turns out to be a wonderful project. And believe me, friends, that diamond merchant invested more than 1,000 crores in this particular mine. Now, when this particular chartered accountant has made him invest this huge amount and made the project viable, how much would he have charged from that gentleman? Can you imagine that? The amount that he has charged from one person is equal to fees charged throughout the life by some of the chartered accountants. Now, this is innovation. Because ultimately what the client wanted to grow. He said, I have another chartered accountant for income tax, but I don't have another chartered accountant give me such an idea that yes, you come with me, you park 1,000 crores in copper mines and I'll see to it that it becomes a profitable venture, a cash-rich venture. So here comes innovation. I can give many other examples how some chartered accountants have done wonderfully well, right? How? One of my very good friends, he came up with a very simple idea, and through that, the passive income he is generating is more than the active income of chartered accountants without doing anything. Now, this is only an idea, innovation, right? So anyway, let us come back to these jeans. I am sure once again, people of my age, they will agree. In 70s and 80s, a denim means only one denim should be there. If you would struggle, with our parents for 3 years, then at the end of 3 years, father will give in and he'll say, okay, you will get one denim. Before that, you will not get. That was the time we had, right? At least you required 3 years to convince your father that you require a denim, right? So now when I got a denim somewhere in 10th, 11th, I means that's okay. One denim is okay. Now just imagine, at that time, for us, denim was only a blue colored jeans. That's it. So market was already saturated. Now we felt, who will purchase denims? But no, they came up with the ideas. Dark blue, light blue. So now we say, oh, no, I have dark one, I want light one. Now you have purchased dark and light and medium also. Now what? So they came out with the new ideas. Monkey wash, acid wash, stone wash. Now what? A straight pocket, vertical pockets, and then they would come in mid waist, low waist. You can just imagine. Madam, I think somebody is in very much hurry. I can say so. So anyways, now just imagine, everybody had a denim. So they came up with this stupid idea as per we people, but not stupid as per the users. It was a fantastic idea. And you can say this is innovation. Next one now, please. Yeah, madam, next one. Next one, please. Well, okay, not an issue. Let us move further. Yeah, next one, please. Now, once again, those who are growing up with me, sorry, I'm biased about people with my age, because we have grown up this thing. I'm sure everybody enjoyed Tom and Jerry and Mickey and Donald. Well, Mickey and Donald, US people have enjoyed even the recent years. So, can you give some more examples of CAs who did different innovative? Surely, sir, I'll do that. I'll add one more example of that. I'll first give one more example of that. I think why the slides are running, actually, I'm not sure, but whatever the case may be, I'll give an example of that. One of my friends, he did this thing in Surat. There is a textile market. There is a textile market, huge market known as Ring Road. And on this ring road, the property prices are skyrocketing. It is something like, I am once again talking a decade back. It was 2 lakh rupees per square yard. In Surat, we talk about square yard. That is 9 square feet. I'm not sure how you purchase land. We purchase it in square yard. So 9 square feet is 1 square yard and 2 lakh rupees was the rate. And in the lanes adjoining these roads, which are very small lanes, the rates were very low as 30,000 rupees per square yard. The reason was, on these lanes, construction could not be done in the proper way. Height was not available. And because they were not having 200 feet road, you could not create markets. So one chartered accountant got a very fantastic idea. He could realize that his clients were selling up the lanes, the properties in the lanes adjoining this 200 feet road, and these were being sold at 30,000 rupees only. So what this chartered accountant did was, those days you had to pay only 10% token amount, and I'm not sure how it works in AP. In Gujarat, how it works is, you give a token of 10% and then for 6 months you can pay the remaining amount. So this chartered accountant purchased something like 4,000 square yards of place at 30,000 rupees by paying only 3,000 rupees per square yard. And then he knew very well that one of his clients was on the main road immediately adjoining, and he was creating a market, a huge market. So he approached that gentleman that if I merge this land with your project, I'll go to the Surat Municipal Corporation, I'll go to the Surat Development Authority, I'll get all the legal formalities done, I'll get you a bank loan also, I'll look into your taxation aspect also, I'll look into your legal aspect also. If I add this 4,000 square yard of land, this land is not useful to you, but if this land is added to you, then you will get the additional construction FSI. In Surat, we term it as floor space index, and as a thumb rule, 24 square feet per square yard you can construct. So 4,000 into 24 would become 96,000 square feet you will additionally construct. And when 96,000 square feet you will construct, the rate ongoing is 7,000. Your cost will be not more than 2,000, even if you do the most luxurious construction. So 5,000 you will gain out of it, and 96,000 into 5,000. Now just imagine, it's going to be 480 crores. And against that, this land is peanuts. The chartered accountant purchased this land, sold this land, and believe me, he made fortunes out of it. And it was a win-win-win proposition for everyone. This is one more example. There can be many examples. My only point is, innovation is there everywhere. But what happens in our day-to-day life, we are unfortunately trained that do not look beyond income tax. Friends, what I'm trying to tell is, yes, look into income tax, look into audit. These are our core areas. But if you keep on watching over a period of time, your mind will become more and more creative. Initially, you'll get some very vague and blur ideas, but over a period of time, you'll be very smart enough and you'll come out with some wonderful ideas. And one idea only one idea clicked right, that's over. And that is what I learned in US, that you don't have to work on so many things. One idea which is scalable, which is sustainable, makes all the difference. One particular chartered accountant in Surat, he came up with a very simple concept of a club. He came up with a concept of club. How? He did not have the funds. He purchased the land 25 kilometers away from the city, and instead of giving membership of club, he sold a plot of land to people. So he recovered the money from that only. He constructed with that same money. He got his margin out of it because of construction and all. And this, now the properties you would let out. And when you let out, you get some percentage, and that gentleman who has made the company gets another percentage. Now, friends, believe me, he has become billionaire only out of one project. And the building in which I am sitting is also constructed by a chartered accountant. He's a billionaire, right? He could just He started with a very small practice, but entered into one small contract, and from that he created huge empire. So there are many examples. In Surat, there are many chartered accountants who are having dyeing mills, who are into diamond, who are into textiles. And these days, many young chartered accountants are coming into Amazon type things. They are selling saris and all these things. They are not manufacturing. They are only providing the platform to various small businessmen and, you know, expanding their sales. One young chartered accountant at the age of only 23, he came out with the concept of providing a platform to small sari manufacturers who do not know how to sell. They know how to produce. So he would provide the platform and he will get some margin, and in turn, their sales is increasing. And friends, believe me, from this one, this chartered accountant within 4 years, he could make 5-6 offices of his own. So there are many, many examples. My only point is, we have to understand that knowledge is one part of the brain, and that is the left part of the brain. The right part is about imagination, about creativity, and about innovation. So let us use both the parts. That's my only point. So who will forget Tom and Jerry? Right? Was it not innovation? Was it not innovation? Next one, please. Next slide. I'll go with very quick some slides, and then if you have any questions, you can definitely ask me. Now, before this, madam, you have skipped one. Okay. Now, let me take up this pulse. This pulse was also very innovative. I think this pulse must be available in your city also. You know, how did it come up? How did it come up? They came out with a concept that candy business in India is increasing at a very high CAGR. Who understands CAGR word better than a chartered accountant? Right? With a very fantastic CAGR, pulse was, means candy market was increasing. So they said that we want to place ourselves into this. But what type of candy are we going to make? The same orange candy that is going on for so many years? So they did some survey. They did some survey on that. And through survey, they came out with this concept of, you know, raw mango with some other type of masala within. And you know what? With this innovative approach, they hit the turnover in the initial year, and they crossed Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola company, they took some X years to reach 100 crores. This company reached 100 crores even below that. So now this is the power of innovation. A beautiful example. Next one, please. Next one. Yeah. Now this is another beautiful thing. I'm trying to add another dimension to innovation. Friends, can you tell me from this particular feather, who is the ruler? There are so many rulers and they all have the crowns. From this crown, can you say who is the ruler? Naturally, everybody can say Lord Krishna, right? Thousands and thousands of rulers came and disappeared, right? But after 5,000 and 15,000 years also, looking at this feather, somebody can say whose crown this is. Now this is innovation. So innovation is in the roots of Indians. Sir, Indians have been most innovative. Look at the temples of South. I don't think there is anything more innovative than temples in South. Look at the way our lifestyle was way back, innovative. Next one, please. I'll go very quickly with some few. Next, please. Now, another example. Somebody wanted to look at example. Look at this wonderful example. While we were growing up, we imagined that, you know, if we could have a Royal Enfield bullet or something like that, and we could not afford. And this was nearly extinct. This company was nearly extinct. But the way they came up in the second phase, the second inning, re-entry, that was so innovative that I'm sure many of you might have purchased this product, right? Your childhood fantasy. So this was also very innovative. Very innovative the way they captured the market. Next, please. By the way, if this Royal Enfield was not a part of Eicher Group and a separate company was there, and if you would have purchased the equivalent share of the price of this bullet, then you would have become a billionaire by now. This company has grown by this percentage CAGR, very high. Now, Rajnikant, why I have given this example? Why this example? By the way, there is some chartered accountant from South who has written a book on Rajnikant, 50 famous dialogues of Rajnikant and lessons chartered accountant should learn out of that. Of course, the movie is in The book is written in Tamil and English. I cannot understand Tamil, but because it was written by some chartered accountant, I said, let me just experiment with it. I read it. 50 dialogues of Rajnikant and innovative lessons arising out of that for chartered accountants. That was interesting. Anyway, differentiation. Now, why I give this example? Why I give this example? Rajnikant, once again, slide is moving up. I think better I would have taken control in my hands. That would have been much far better, because this is disturbing actually. Rajnikant, why I give this example? Why I give this example of Rajnikant? Friends, because the most important rule today of management is differentiate or die. Friends, here comes a very big question. When people say there is undercutting in our profession, what is the reason for undercutting? Why are we not getting fees the way we desire? Rajnikant is a beautiful answer there. What? Chartered accountant fees and Rajnikant? Yes. Yes. Kindly understand. Management says that when the products are homogeneous, economics says that when the products are homogeneous, then you don't command any higher prices. You don't get premiums. Now look from the perspective of a client. Suppose Sridhar ji or Vasudev Murthy ji or Prasanna Kumar ji or any other chartered accountant PVS Kumar ji, they are doing my audit. I am an illiterate person. Okay, I am an illiterate person. Can I differentiate the quality of audit amongst you? The answer is no. You might be differing in your approaches, but for me, you all are the same. So for me, you are homogeneous. And where homogeneity is there, you don't command market, right? You don't get the brand values. You don't get the premium. So the rule is differentiate or die. Friends, if you want to read one book, one beautiful book, I would recommend the book Differentiate or Die by Jack Trout. Differentiate or Die by Jack Trout. On the very first page, Jack Trout writes, ultimately, quality wins. Do you agree with this statement? Ultimately, quality wins. Yes or no? And probably you all will say yes. Even I said yes. On the second page, he said it is bullshit. It's bullshit. Does it mean quality is not important? No. He did not mean that. But tell me one thing. Can you or I differentiate between the quality of Adidas and Reebok? No. Can we make out a difference between the quality of Levi's and Lee or Killer? No. But if somebody tells me that Nike is good, I'll purchase Nike. If somebody would say Raymond is good, I'll go for Raymond, a complete man. I'm not sure. Otherwise, I become complete or not, but at least by wearing Raymond, I become a complete man. By the way, today it is interesting that first time I got so many messages that it is International Men's Day today. Oh, fortunately, even men, what a day. So, so now you know what Rajnikant did. Rajnikant did not make a mistake. He knew very well. He should not give dialogues like Amitabh Bachchan. He should not dance like Hrithik Roshan. He cannot do romantic scenes like Shah Rukh Khan or maybe the actors you understand. He understood one thing. If I have to survive, I have to do something which is so differentiated, others would not dare to do that. So in the initial movies, the way he would wear the spectacles or goggles, or the way he would, with gunshot, fire a cigar. I remember I was in school. When I watched some 3 movies of Rajnikant, I would tell people he is mad. He is mad. ऐसा होता है क्या? ऐसा पागल जैसा होता है क्या? He is mad. And then I realized I am mad. Because he is not making movie for me. He knows what the people in India wants. And he differentiated. He differentiated in such a way. Now can you imagine Shah Rukh Khan coming up goggles this? Or Amitabh Bachchan coming with goggles this? Now, for such type of movies, you don't have any option. You have to go with Rajnikant only. Whatever is an age. But if you want a stylish hero, it is Rajnikant. Though now in South, many other people have started walking on his footsteps. But ultimately, he is the father, probably, of such type of stunts. Differentiate or die. How a very simple person who was a bus conductor became such a super hit. Innovation. Kindly understand. So innovation is everywhere. I'm just talking to my chartered accountant friends. I did not take you to technology. I'm just telling you that innovation is everywhere. And there are so many chartered accountants who are doing that. Once I was in Siliguri, by chance, I was going to Darjeeling. So I landed at the Bagdogra airport, and Siliguri branch is very nearby. So chairman called me, sir, national conference is, sub-regional conference is going on. If you can come and speak. I said, sorry, I am not a speaker. No, sir, please come and speak. I said, but sorry, I am with my family and I'm in denims. I don't look like a council member. No, sir, it's okay, you come. I spoke only for 20 minutes. But friends, believe me, one chartered accountant from Siliguri, he reported that he did something on that, what I spoke about, and he made 12 crores in a year. This is interesting. I was also shocked. I don't know that gentleman, this report came to me. Otherwise, I would have told him, at least, within 1 year, I've done that. Give me some part of it at least. So anyway, differentiate or die. Next one, please. Next one. I'll go very quickly now because the time is...
Sir, pardon for the slide changing, sir. It is taking few seconds time after the change over here.
Yeah, not a problem, not a problem.
Actually, on our screen, it is shown as the next slide, but you are unable to see. When you are telling again next slide, it is going to next.
Okay. Not an issue, not an issue. Now, as I was talking about, see, how the client looks at you is very important. Homogeneous versus heterogeneous. When a father is coming home and the wife says, purchase a balloon for our kid. Now, you know very well, husband does not have any other choice when he has the order, right? So he will go to a balloon man. How much is the cost? The balloon man will say 10 rupees. And the balloon man says, which color? Do you think the father is going to choose the color? No, he is color blind. He will purchase any color. And that is homogeneous. But suppose if the kid was also with the father, would he choose the color? Yes. Then it is termed as heterogeneous. Now, if your clients look at you heterogeneous, then they'll pay you handsome fees. If they look at you homogeneous, then you'll never command fees. Kindly understand, this is a very important principle, which we do not understand. Hence, we are underpaid. Compared to our potential, we are getting very less amount paid. Next one, please. I'll wait, no problem. Next one. So, innovation can be a spurt of moment or can be well-designed efforts. Look at both the apples. One was Isaac Newton. Apple fell and it was an innovation, law of gravitation. And another, a well-designed iPad or iPod or iPhone by Apple. So innovation can be both. It can be well-designed, it can be spurt of moment. The only thing is, in Indian spirituality, they say consciousness, awareness. In business sense, you say, observation power. If you develop that, let us understand, by using knowledge, you are using only half the brain, left side. The right side is not being used, which is creativity, which is innovation, right? If we use the second part also, that you can just understand. How much can you walk with 1 foot? You can just understand. If I only use knowledge as my aids to grow, I think my growth will happen but limited. If I use the second part and just observe all those people on this earth who have used both the part, where are they? Next one, please. Now, this is very important. Innovation starts at the top. And it is 1% idea and 99% execution. There are many people who can come out with ideas, but it is execution is very important. Now, this is also very important. Being unique is of no value. I am a rank holder chartered accountant. I cleared CA in first attempt. So what? The client has nothing to do with that. Client has nothing to do with that. You might be the most unique person on the earth, but then what? Unless it gives some value to customer, uniqueness is of no value. The customer is not always right, but it sits at the heart of innovation. That means we must have you attitude. Many times we have this attitude. Oh, I am a chartered accountant. Oh, I cleared in first attempt. Oh, I am a rank holder. Oh, I know all the accounting standards. Oh, I know this. No. What I am is not that relevant. The important thing is how the other person, who is the user of our service, perceives us. Right? Next one, please. It can be incremental or radical. Right? It can come out of culture, necessity, or compulsion. Now, I'll just focus on one thing. Then, madam, you can keep on just running those slides after this. Right? Just keep on running to the last one. There is always an unsatisfied market. There is always an unsatisfied market, which is the most powerful statement. Friends, I did my marketing management. I'll just quickly finish it off. Innovation is about passion. One has to be very passionate about life, about everything that is happening around us. Everywhere innovation takes place, you can recognize that. Then, you know, we will develop our sixth sense, that is innovative powers, and we can use it for developing our own entrepreneurships, our own practices. Next one. So it's all about motivation. Next, just keep on moving. Madam, keep on moving. We'll just wind up very quickly. Creativity, as I said, it's all about creativity. Next. See, one must have that courage, confidence, and conviction. And this is a very beautiful statement. Sorry for inconvenience. We are changing the world. There are some people who are fanatics. There are some people who are crazy. They are mad, but they want to change the world and they do it. Innovation is nature. Just look at it. Just look at the nature around us. Everything is so innovative. So we are born innovative. Just look at a small kid, how innovative it is. It's only with only one dimension. We sometimes do not be innovative. Innovation is life. Yeah, now you can come out of this slide. Yeah, that's it. Madam, stop the slideshow. Yeah, thank you very much. And as I was talking about, in China, I was doing my marketing management, and fortunately, my trainers were those who were training Alibaba, because those days Alibaba was not a success. I'm talking way back. And a very profound statement was made by the gentleman that people say there is cutthroat competition, but there is no competition. People say there is cutthroat competition, but that is because you want to enter into the same market where everybody is there. You are not innovative. He said there is always an unsatisfied market. Always an unsatisfied market. He does not say dissatisfied. There is one market. Nobody imagined that. Let me give a beautiful example. Beautiful example. A few years back, you must have seen Gautamji or, you know, Sridharji. You must all have seen that BlackBerry people, they always used to boast, you know, we are business people. We have BlackBerry phones. You Nokia people, you Samsung people, you know, you are second-class citizens. We are BlackBerry. We can send BBM to each other. You must remember that. Only BlackBerry people could do it. Right? So this was adverse for some people. Adverse. But some few people took a clue that here comes the unsatisfied market. BlackBerry people can send messages, others cannot. Let me focus on the others. And they came out with a new idea. And that ultimately idea is known as today WhatsApp. Right? Unsatisfied market. BlackBerry made a huge mistake. Made a huge mistake. They did not provide this facility to others. They said, no, it will be only BlackBerry. Okay, you are killed. See the innovation. So there is always an unsatisfied market. The only thing is somebody can look at it. And the one who could look at it, he could make 19 billion US dollars. Right? The one who could look at. So when you and I will look at an unsatisfied market and execute it, I think that is what, as I said, I learned in US. In US, that only one idea and you create billion out of it. But there has to be focus. It should be sustainable and scalable. So anyway, as I talked about, innovation is everywhere. By innovation, I do not mean that straight away jump out of your income tax or audit. No, please continue that. Right? My point is, we have knowledge as one aspect. Let us increase the creativity aspect and let us see to it, using both these abilities, we become still better human beings first. Right? We enjoy our life more. We become more passionate in learning new things, not only confining to our business or profession, but around the world. And thereby, you know, over a period of time, ideas will be generated. And who knows, one good idea, when it can create whatever, right? Infosys also was an idea, you know, you have to be thrown out of Patti computers. Then you create, if you're not thrown out, right? You went to Patti computers CEO and you say, we want some systems, and he said, sorry, I'm not going to give you these funds. I don't understand technology and all. And then you drop out. And then, you know, that creates Infosys. So who knows, you and I, we also have the same potential. Someday we may also create it. I would very sincerely thank the branch and the region, and particularly my very good friend Prasanna ji for providing me this wonderful opportunity. He has always been a very great inspiration. source of inspiration for me and many other council colleagues. And as I said, some of the members I know personally, and I told after COVID, whenever I get an opportunity, I'll be very happy to meet you personally also. Thank you. Thank you once again.
Thank you, sir. That was really a wonderful session we had today. I hand over the proceedings to Raviteja.
Thank you so much, sir. I second your views that innovation is at heart of everything. We have come all the way from manually entering each transaction in the books to passing an entry simply by saying, "Hey Google, pass an entry in my books." And a sub-regional conference involved physical presence of delegates once upon a time, and here we are listening to you and sitting from another other's corner of the country. Thank you very much, sir.
So I take your leave. Thank you very much once again.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot for sparing your valuable time for the sake of our Visakhapatnam branch members and for the Andhra Pradesh state.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Members, tomorrow we'll meet again at 4 p.m. Thank you. Good night.